I'm an early bird and I'm a night owl, so I'm wise and I have worms.
Refresh yourselves.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Hi, greetings. I hope everything's working okay. Look at me. I'm less crusty. Huzzah! Isn't that so good? I'm no longer dying. I'm still a little bit gunked up, you know, but nothing crazy. Like I'm living. I'm functioning. Yes, look at me. Less crusty. Less crusty. I can speak. I don't feel like I have to cough every like 30 seconds. Life is so good. But how is everyone? How is everyone doing? How has the week treated you? I hope you've had a fantastic, fantastic week. And yes, girl bossed my way through COVID. You know it. that's just that's just how it goes. You have to adapt, overcome. And I have a sip that I need to redeem. Hello. Ah, thank you. But yes, we fought through the crust. We've pushed through. I am now uncrustable. That's the hope anyway. We were making the jokes like, "Oh, it's so good that you got COVID, you know, this month. So next month when I have vacation, it's not really going to be a worry." Well, we can hope. I don't know how long it takes to recatch COVID if you do. But no, it's all good. Well, let's see. Just got my hair dyed, feeling cute. Ooh, that's amazing. That's wonderful. That's usually how I feel when I do my hair. I haven't like touched it up in a little bit, so it's coming in a little. But yeah, heck yeah. I love the new hair dye vibes. Mochi, you're writing a lot of stuff. So even if you feel like you're not doing much, I see you. I see you doing things. Also, Eddie, you mentioned Shadowbringers and pre-ordering Dawn Trail. Ooh. Ooh. I'm excited. I need to pre-order it too. I need to actually get back into the game is what I need to do. I keep telling myself I'll log in, I'll play the game, and then I don't. And then I just kind of don't. Life is so hard. Sorry, I'm just looking at my stream manager. So it looks like it's gonna start an ad like very soon. So we'll just like keep chit-chatting, saying random things. Um, and then afterwards we'll get into like the main event. We'll get into why we're really here, which is down here, what you see. Hello, didn't actually say this when I submitted it. Feel free to read my entry on stream. Okay, awesome, awesome. Yes, if you submitted something and you're like here right now, you can tell me like, hey, read my thing, or hey, don't read my thing. You know, just any number of things. But yeah, I'm really excited to get into them. But okay, ad is starting momentarily. I'll get back to going on to things. Ooh. But yeah, I'm really excited. Um, this week has been such a struggle for me. I did not do well this week. So you know, I was sick previously. I'm like coming off of the sick still, so I still feel kind of gross. Um, but not horrendous. You know what I mean? Like I feel normal. I feel pretty okay, but I haven't slept well the whole week. Not one day this week did I go to bed like before 3 a.m. I don't I don't know why I do this to myself. But yeah. Yeah, I know. I do apologize for the ad. They're pretty horrendous. Yeah, yeah, Mochi, honestly, if you see me awake at like at a stupid hour, just yell at me. Just tell me, "Hey, stop that. Just go to bed." Yeah, scream at me about my short list until I go to sleep. That'll do it. And hopefully soon this ad is going to stop soon. Oh yeah, sleep is so important. Yeah, hypocrite. I stayed up until 2 a.m. 3 nights in a row this week. Yeah, I keep doing it. Do you know what time I went to bed last night? Or should I say this morning? It was 5 a.m. Why did I do that? There's no reason. There's not a single reason for this. Did I do it anyway? Yeah. Yeah, I sure did. um, really what it was is I was doom scrolling on TikTok. And funny story about TikTok, I currently have one that's like kind of popping off right now. About the fact that I cannot stop buying tomato soup at the grocery store every time I go to the grocery store. Because I just, I keep looking at it like, huh, just in case I make grilled cheese, I should buy some tomato soup, Can't have grilled cheese without tomato soup, right? Katoy boy, hi, welcome. But yeah, where is this TikTok at right now? And people are commenting like, I think you should make some grilled cheese. Oh, oops, I need to change that bot command real quick. I realize it still says that I'm playing Stardew Valley, and that is not true.
Refresh yourselves.
When the sippies are coming in. Why does my camera look blurry all of a sudden? Change in lighting and everything is discombobulated. Oh, thank you, for the stretch. We'll fix the command right after I stretch. But you can see on my sweater today, I have some wonderful little creatures, very on theme
Refresh
with today's
yourselves.
stream. we got some wonderful creatures to read about today, and that's what we're going to dive into. Yeah, I got my little red panda sweater. This thing is so cute. Hold on, let me like sit up in my chair. Aren't they adorable? I love them. Yeah, they're little red pandas in different colors. And I saw this I saw it in an ad. Or was it an ad? I think it was an ad. On like National Red Panda Day. And so it was like me ordering this was like kind of giving to charity in relation to red pandas. And like, I think I made a good purchase that day. It was immediate. I decided I need it. I just need to get it. Charitable line. Mm-hmm. Well, hey, listen, we're all about charity on this channel, right? And Jacob, hello. Thank you for the subscription. I appreciate you. How are you today? I'm happy to see you. But yeah, on the topic of charity. It's actually a really good way. It's a good segue into this. Tabletop Weekend is coming up. I believe is it next weekend? I think it is next weekend. Yes. Yes, April 12th to 14th is Tabletop Weekend. I'll be fundraising for Extra Life over that weekend. Very casual, same thing I did last year. I'm thinking we can finally finish our Baldur's Gate 3 run. That's what I'm thinking we can do that weekend. And so we're gonna see what we can do that weekend. Can do some light fundraising. We're gonna see if we can hit. What am I trying to hit? I want to beat my goal from last year, or not. My total earnings from last year, which was $240 for Extra Life, I think. I don't know. You should finish Baldur's Gate, the Zeitgeist has put on, I think. I mean, kinda, a little bit. I mean, there are definitely still a lot of people talking about it, a lot of people enjoying the game, but I definitely need to finish it at least once. I need to. I will not fall into the same trap as Divinity, where I just haven't finished the game, but I've played it so much. And that one's many years out of the way already. My goodness, but hold on, I came in here. Whoops, that's the wrong one. I came in here to change my Moobot command to stop telling people that I'm playing Stardew Valley. And that I'm crusty. Someone bought a leaf green strix slime. Wait, what? Eddie, you're buying my merch. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Oh, I love that color. I need to get one for myself, honestly. Just start wearing my own merch. Not like I use my own merch on a regular basis or anything. I would never do that. But like I should get myself one of my own hats, I think. Yeah, see, it does have an alert, but I don't know how to make it have sound. It's really weird because all of the settings say that it should share like the same everything with my regular like donation alerts, and the donation alerts have a sound. But when it pops up over here as a merch sale, it there's nothing. There's no sound unless I just don't hear it, which would be really funny. But no, it just doesn't sound. So let me take this command off the timer. Thank you. Actually, let me see what's even on my timer. Fantastic. Okay. Cool. So let us dive in today to our crafting creatures entries. We're gonna do a little scroll of this page. Let me just hop on in. Ooh, I need to make my screen a little different size just to be adequately prepared. And let me open this as well over here so I can start sifting through my actual entries. Because we're gonna go through, like, I'm just gonna go through my list. I'm gonna see all of the people who have said, like, yes, read my article on stream. And we're gonna just read articles on stream. And if you are in here in this chat right now and you have not submitted anything for this challenge, you are more than welcome to make any last minute submissions all through the rest of today's stream. Just toss one in there. Toss one in there. I will not be upset. I will not be bothered by any last minute submissions. I didn't know if I said so or not. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see. But here we are. This is the challenge page. Hi, Estervella. How are you? Welcome, welcome. And Eddie, awesome, awesome. All these wonderful articles I get to read. So yes, I hope you like my nice little crossed out previous date. There we go. Ends today, April 5th. Your comment didn't mention it. It's okay, we have permission now, I think. Yes, we do. We do have permission now. And that's what matters. So again, if you're here, you're still welcome to submit something. If you're here, you're welcome to tell me just like, hey, I didn't say to, but you can read my article. Or hell, even if you don't want me to read if you don't want me to read your article anymore, you can say, hey, I changed my mind. Just throw it out into the trash. I would never throw it into the trash. I'll just like put it off screen somewhere and tell you that I did. But I'm not putting it into the trash can, no sir. So yes, here we go. And for anyone here who is not aware of what this is, I'm just gonna toss this little, ooh, hold on. Toss this little command in here. This is what we're looking at right now. Can you read my entry in a British accent? I can try. I can most certainly try. As long as you're not too particular about the region, because I'm sure my accent is not consistent, but I will give it a go. I will give it my best shot. I'll put on my LARP character voice. But yes, this is Crafting Creatures 2024. This was an unofficial challenge that I ran through the month of March, encouraging you to create creatures in your world who enjoy crafting, who make things. And so your articles did not have to be a focus on the creature itself, but whatever you submitted should tell me, or any readers, that there is a creature in your world that crafts things. They could be the muse of your people. They could be an inspiration of real-world structures, or real-world structures relative to your world, so they're fake world structures. You get the idea. They should delight or inspire or fill the world around them with beauty in some kind of way. It doesn't even have to, beauty is subjective. But yeah, creatures, making things, and how that affects your world, and that's Crafting Creatures. I hope to run this again next year, so if you didn't get on it this year, absolutely, I welcome your ideas next year. And so, the winner of this challenge will get a shiny badge. She's golden, she's beautiful. All you participants got this little silver one. For free. Heck yes. And, in addition, let me turn this little pen off. In addition, the winner of this challenge will also inspire the next NPC that our sweet little character Ebby meets on her next adventure, or in the next installment of the Path to Adventure series that I started writing. So this is the side quest Ducky Delivery that I wrote for Duckuary. So for Tiller's challenge, just a little prose piece. I love it. It made me really happy. And it's where I got this, it's where I started this idea of having a little quest pop up, like, adventure complete. And you see it again here on this challenge article where you say quest received. Here you go. Here's a quest. But as we scroll on down here, we will see the full list of all of our entries, all of these wonderful peoples. I think I forgot to count it again, but I think we got 29 entries. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that awesome? We could even get a couple more if you guys start writing during this stream. And there they are. That's the full list. I'll do a quick count. So 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. We have 28 entries. There we go. So yes, I'm excited to jump into these. I'm excited to get into reading some of these. And I'm just gonna start going down my list and just seeing like, okay, who said, yes, let us read on stream. We're gonna go in order. So whoever submitted first, you are in there. Let's see. So where are we beginning? Who said things? Oh, you can totally read this on stream. And we are starting off with a local friend. We got Felix. Yippee! I love when things just work out this way. So here we go. The leaf weaver bat. Woo! So here's the link for you all to go have a little gander. Already I love them. Just from the sound, just from the title. They sound wonderful, they sound cute. Oh, and they got little arts. Oh, they're so cute. Okay. Leafweaver bats are known to live primarily in the middle of the Retford Empire, though they've also been seen in both Kaya and Hertelsila during the summer months. They eat primarily insects and are named for a notable behavior they engage in. Using their thumbs and the aid of other bats around them, leafweaver beats will work together to wait. Oh my god, I'm not used to talking. I'm I'm being such a disaster reading this right now. Leafweaver, yes. Chosen by the bats and woven together in sturdy patterns. Ooh. These blankets of leaves will be secured to the ceiling of the cave the group of bats have chosen to live in and will act as protection from the weather. So they make little leaf blankets that they weave together. I love it. The leaves are so tightly woven together that very little water will get through. This covering will also shelter from winds and, in places where it snows, it will protect from the worst of that as well. Behavior is extremely useful to these bats, as they tend to live near the mouths of caves instead of deeper in. If they lived any deeper within the caves, they would likely be in far more danger from the cave crocodile that inhabits the very same range as they do, which will eat any bat that ventures too far into the caves. I love that little detail, that little world-building snippet. Like, they live towards the mouth of caves, so they're more susceptible to weather than other bats. Like, details. It's all about the details. And leafweaver bats are also thought to be a rather cute species of bat by most. They've also come to be something of a symbol among those who are bisexual and polyamorous due to the bat's unique social structures, which involve many partners of either sex and a communal raising of children within family units with at least 5 parents. Oh, and they're inclusive. I love them. Sheltering inside a cave with leafweaver bats is something several explorers or lost travelers have done to survive in harsh weather. While the leaves are unable to protect from all weather and are more effective the closer to the ceiling of the cave you are, the shelter provided by these leaves has been enough to keep more than one lost soul alive through a harsh night. Because of this, these bats are also widely seen as good luck. There have been a few attempts to keep leafweaver bats as pets, but this has never turned out well. These bats are such highly social animals that depriving them of their colony is enough to send them into a deep depression. These pets have often starved themselves to death, or in happier cases, their owners have released them back into the wild. Luckily, colonies of leafweaver bats will happily take on loner bats, as they feel little to no need to compete with each other. The sight of a colony of leafweaver bats is thought to bring good luck on any journey you are undertaking, and they are largely beloved by those who live in their territory. I love them. Ooh, Mochi's asking the real questions. What if I own a colony of these bats? I think that would work. I think that would probably work. Yeah, they're so cute. I love these. I love these already. They have filled me with joy. Thank you for this submission. Yes, go check it out. I will go so far as to share that link again. Have a little read, have a little like. Show our community members some love. Yeah, if you have enough space to have a colony, just own a cave. Just buy a cave. It's that easy. Buy a cave, acquire bats, bam, you have a bajillion pet bats. Yeah, so cute, little polyamorous bats. I have a friend who would eat this up so much. Like they would adore this. They are polyamorous, they love bats. Match made in heaven. But all right, we should move on to our next. Oh my gosh, sorry, my hair is like touching my eyelashes and I wasn't having it. Ooh, okay, so here's another with permission. Excellent, excellent. And this one is from Dutrius. Want to add more polyamory into my world? Me too. And you know, I kind of started doing that like forever ago. Like we know like Malcora does not really have articles about like people and populations very much yet, but years ago when I started writing like people and things, I actually had like a pretty significant population of my world that was polyamorous. So it was like had like very open structures, right? And so I need to like come back to that. I need to come back to that and like rewrite these. But here we go. Our next one from Dutriath, and that's Bethadoc. So here, a little link. Da-da-da. Yes, the Bethadoc of the forested mountain valleys of Lothian are huge beavers, warped into intelligent, semi-bipedal form by the wild magics of Lolth. The vast majority of the Bethadoc population reside in the great timber city of Mor Bethadoc, on the shores of Loch Bethadoc, a vast artificial lake of their own construction. Other Bethadoc settlements exist, built out of roughly hewn timbers centered around large wooden gravity dam. A large wooden gravity dam. I need to get my reading chops back. It's been so long since I've like read stuff out loud. I'm like my mind's like racing ahead of me and my body's like, "Hey man, you were just sick. Slow it down there. Slow it down there, buddy. You still got a little bit of the gunk." Hold on, I need to take a little sip. We got to keep ourselves hydrated and stunning. Oh, and for everyone, like just to be aware, I am reading these articles on stream, but even if they did not give me permission to read on stream, I will be reading the articles still on my own time. So, you know, no one's getting left out or anything. This is just for fun. This is just stuff that I get to share with you guys. It's like my my privilege to share the writing of others with all of you on my channel. But anyway, back to the reading. Bethadoc are huge creatures when compared to a man and can be mistaken for exceptionally large bears at a distance. They stand up to 10 feet tall, 3 meters, when standing upright, with a wide, flat tail up to 4 feet, a little over a meter long. Them some big boys. Them some very big boys. Their weight is likewise massive, at between 100 kilograms and 250 kilograms on average. See, they didn't put this one into freedom units, and so I'm not quite as aware of how much that weighs. Um one day I'll learn more about kilograms. But their lives are relatively short compared to humans, with 30 winters being considered elderly. I mean, honestly, I'm getting up to there. I understand. I'm almost there, and I freedom units. Yeah, listen. They had feet up there with the meters in parentheses, so I thought that was going to continue, but then it just kind of flipped entirely, and then just left out the little. Are we the imperial ones? Is that 220 to 550 freedom weights? Hell yeah! All right, yeah, so that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Their fur color is brown, but the exact shade varies wildly between individuals within a population. Most often, their fur color closely resembles that of tree bark or fresh lumber. As they age, their fur begins to turn gray, first around the muzzle, then spreading evenly across the entire pelt. On rare occasions, a pure white Bethadock is born. These albinos are usually regarded as omens of great change within the world, but whether an omen is good or an ill one remains a mystery until that change happens. A hole the size of approximately 2 washing machines. Exactly, exactly. Yeah, we'll find ways to measure any possible way besides using metric. But an industrious and hardworking species, they are expert carpenters and woodworkers, having mastered the art of joinery using only lumber and without any form of masonry or metal fixings. Many Bethadock lodges also serve as small workshops, especially in smaller settlements, but in most major ones, dwellings and workplaces are separated. That's really cool. So they, I keep seeing videos of this, okay, of like kind of Japanese style carpentry with that like really heavily focuses on the joinery and just like not like using nails or anything. And so this is really cool to read about, just like people incorporating this into their worlds, like through their creatures. That's so cool. That's so cool. Hold on, I need a little cough real quick. But see, not as often as usual. I just need to get that one out there every now and then. All right. The Bethadock keep few written records of their own history, relying instead on rich oral tradition and statuary memorials to past settlement leaders. Their written language is based on pictograms and numerals that resemble tally marks, and seems to be primarily used for inventory keeping and trade records between settlements. Most records are inscribed into strips of tree bark, however, the Bethadock of More Bethadock possess a paper mill and write either charcoal or with a unique ink made from the roots of aquatic plants. No record is ever intentionally destroyed, and the expansion of a settlement's archives is a never ending task. According to legend, when the Lady of the Lake first emerged to find that artificial lake, Loch Bethadock had flooded the valley of her home, she believed that the Bethadock were the world's dominant species. Only later on did she discover that other intelligent species of Loth, and later still humankind. So that's really fun. Just like these like they're like basically beast folk, is what I'm understanding, like semi-bipedal intelligent beasts. They're so fun. They're so fun. Oh, imagine an article that uses relative units, but the units are just referencing other things in the world. I'm writing that down. I'm writing that down right now. And yeah, so nobody knows. You know, you saying that reminds me so much of the dumb owl. I feel like that is something that they would do in Vertinol. It's like nothing in actual units. You just describe things by, oh, it's about the size of this thing. It's about the size of a couple of those things. Yeah, right? Like you see my thought process here? Like I absolutely like I would fully I could fully see describing Sant in like in relative units because you don't want to give people a number. Because that just like it makes it too final, you know? Like it makes it too real. But here's the link to the article that we just read. Isn't she wonderful? Oh, how many eggs does Sant weigh? And so we start getting into like, okay, what kind of egg? Like
refresh yourselves.
oh, thank you. Or maybe we don't get into what kind of eggs. Maybe we say like, oh, Sant weighs about like 46 eggs. But then people are like, okay, so is that like quail eggs or ostrich eggs? And so people in like different parts of the world have like very different ideas of how big this guy is. This creature. Yes, yeah, exactly. See, everyone's on the same page. Absolutely, absolutely. Let's see. This one says, I don't know if it'll count since the creature is barely mentioned. But I do have permission to read it, so we're just gonna read it. I don't know. I'm not gonna be I'm not gonna be a cruel taskmaster. If you wrote it for my challenge because my challenge inspired you, it counts. It counts. So we have Angoyo by eBelt. So here it is. Here's a link for everybody. Go on, have a little click, have a little read. Yes, Angoyo, done in honor of crafting creatures. Hello, that's my challenge. All right, Angoyo, also known as the silent dance, is a type of dance used among the Mingyong Yonki for festivals, parades, parties, and other special occasions. Ooh, so this is a little dance. Okay, so history some years ago. Pyongyang historians believe that Angoyo originated in very early in Mingyong's history, beginning in ancient times through the worship of Ankuan, the god of silence, who is believed to be represented by a bug. So it's a little bug. Okay, this bug, the Amkui, had a very slender body and long antennae that looked similar to whips. It communicated to others of its kind by moving its antennae in complex patterns and never making a sound. The bug's name translated to the modern tongue is Angalmi, the silent whip, which can also be pronounced as Angoyo. See, they said in their comment that it barely mentions the creature, but like, in an article that isn't about the creature, I think this is good. You don't really need to mention it too much more than this. We've introduced like what's going on here, like what the subject is of this article, and said, oh yes, this was inspired by this thing, inspired by this creature. Little description of the creature. It's really good. Sangoya's dance is very over the top and dramatic. It uses a lot of isolations and can get very technical. It uses mixes of belly dancing, contemporary dance, and ballet. Some of the main staples of this dance style are hip spins, similar to a le seconde turn in ballet, a floor roll, which is exactly what it sounds like, and a mayas, similar to hip figure eights in belly dancing. And the plague of silent death. Ooh, in Minyoung's dark era of history, a terrible plague swept across the ocean. It was a sickening disease that lasted for months. The plague caused people to die suddenly from seizures, dehydration, and paralyzation. After years, the plague had finally passed and there was a celebration. There were parades and festivals involving dancing and performances, with many of these performances being in the Angoyo style. It was during one of these performances that one of the most famous and complex Angoyo dancers came to be, called Dancing with the Plagues of Death. It told the story of the plague, how it devastated the land, running through the farmlands and forests, killing whatever it could. It told of people dying and starving. It was a story of loss and mourning. However, it also celebrated life. It told of how people lived and overcame the plague. It told of people running through fields of grass after the plague had left. It was a story of overcoming the hardships and embracing life, all told without uttering a word. I love it. I love this article. This is so good. So here we see an art of your world's people inspired by a creature. So these creatures in their movements, they've crafted this dance for people to be inspired by. And that's really cool. And so my stream manager does say we have an ad coming up. Says it's starting soon. Okay, ad in progress. Yippee. So we're gonna hang out. We're gonna have a little sippy. I don't want to read anything while we're in the middle of an ad. That'd be rude. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I need to start experimenting with how I run ads. It's like I have no, I know a lot of streamers, a lot of really cool people who kind of work around ads as sort of like scheduled break times. And I think that'd be pretty cool. Like I think that'd be really sick. Like they run like the full 3-minute segment of ads, but they'll have like a little break thing going on. So they'll have like a little break scene or something and tell everyone like, okay, get up, go have some sips, go to the bathroom, go walk around a little bit, go do some stretchies, a little shrimp check for everybody. And so I'm thinking I might try to do something like that in the future. Like gosh, 3-minute ads, like it's so wild. But if it's part of the production, which, streams are, if it's part of the production, it might be okay. Yeah, that'd be really neat because we gotta be stretching. We gotta be stretching. Also, I gotta be coughing. Yeah, everybody really do gotta be stretching. Very important. All right, so here we go. We have another one
Refresh
that is
yourselves.
readable. Amazing, amazing. Ooh, okay, and the sips and the shrimp checks are coming in. Oh, okay, I have to. Oh my gosh, I'm being bonked. All right, everybody. Everybody, you are legally obligated to join me in this stretch.
Refresh yourselves.
Oh, my body. Ooh, oh, that's crunchy. My goodness. And we can't forget one more sip. One more sip for the next article read. Oh, amazing. Amazing. Because what are we reading next? I can only stretch one leg because the other still hurts. Oh, yeah, you rest that leg. You absolutely get your rest. But here we go. We have our next article. This is Worm's Greed Caterpillar / Lantern Moth. And that is by Jay Abels. Oh, the day I can stretch, I'm gonna cry from happiness. Oh my gosh, it's always like that when you injure yourself. Um, like this was like last year probably. I like really injured my shoulder. And it was not good. It was so horrendous. And like the day that I realized like I can do one of these and like not, or like I think it was specifically like if I can do one of these and not harm myself. Let me get into frame. If I can do this and not hurt, life got so much better. I was like happy tears. These are the perils of rock climbing. You just hurt yourself cuz funny. But here we go. Here's this link for you guys. So let's read about this one. We got a lot of technical details in here, which is pretty cool. All right, we go into the whole life cycle. I want to know what they do. I want to know what they craft. But anyway, the egg stage. The eggs of lantern moths are described as silvery reflective crystals which hang from the boughs of ironwood tree. Ooh. I already like that like image in my mind. The eggs start out hard and sturdy, made rigid by a secretion of the lantern moth. The eggs soften near instantly when heated by fire, or more slowly when made wet, typically by seasonal rains. If the eggs become soft too soon after being laid, the caterpillar inside will not be developed enough and will die on impact with the forest floor when the bottom of the egg gives way to its weight. It is believed that the larva inside the egg can wait indefinitely to come out. Once the larva in the egg has fully developed, it appears to die or enter extreme hibernation until the egg softens enough to drop into the forest floor below. Upon impact, the larva appears to revive itself and begins its life as a caterpillar. Oh, so that's really fun. That's really fun. They just kind of, I don't know, they just grow, they enter stasis, and then it's just like birth through blunt force trauma. Love it. Love it. In the caterpillar stage, their appearance. Worm's greed caterpillars are typically between 40 centimeters and 90 centimeters long, and they have a typical circumference of 36 centimeters. That's not chunky. It's like, I don't, do I have a ruler? I could have sworn I took one home from my parents' place. I don't know. I'm trying to like visualize like a circumference of, I don't know. I don't know. Like these are big. These are big caterpillars. Anyway, yeah, they weigh between 4 kilograms and 16 kilograms depending on age. So yeah, they're fat boys. Big. Most members of the species have metallic colored scale-like patterns on their exoskeletons that resemble the skin of equivalently sized reptiles. Iron Sophus is getting popular real quick. I know. Oh my god. I keep looking at that number like that's not real. That ain't real, but it is. My goodness. Let's see. Their bodies are decorated in numerous spines that grow longer with age. The head of a worm's greed caterpillar is shaped like a spade and sports 2 long articulable protrusions that mimic the appearance of the horns of a great worm. From a distance, they look like wormlings, a fact that works to their advantage, scaring off anyone who wouldn't want to tussle with a mother great worm. And their diet? Under normal circumstances, worms greed caterpillars will eat the bark of ironwood trees they're hatched near. The bark of the trees is naturally heavy with plenty of minerals, as the name of the tree implies, filled with the iron that plants pull from the ground they grow from. The natural source of iron is critical for the caterpillar's growth, as it will not grow without a diet rich with metals. The caterpillar's body redistributes the metals it eats to reinforce its exoskeleton, building armor for itself and making it harder to hurt as the caterpillar grows larger, slower, and more vulnerable to predators. The domestication history. Ooh, mochi, we can have these as pets? Well, maybe. I haven't read the section yet. The caterpillar was once known as the armorer caterpillar before traders attempted to domesticate them. The name was changed when the traders realized that not only did the caterpillars eat their own sheddings when they grew, but they also preferred to eat precious metals over iron and would devour a trader's entire inventory and savings overnight after devouring their cages. They were renamed from their worm-like appearance and perceived greedy behavior. Other domestication attempts have been made, most seeking nearly pure iron shells the caterpillars shed. But the high cost of feeding the caterpillars and their habit of devouring their enclosures make domestication prohibitively expensive. The slow growth and reproduction rate of the species is also partly to blame, making it difficult to breed them for desirable traits and putting profitability potentially decades out for anyone looking to try. Okay, so what I'm getting from this is we can have them as pets, okay? Put them in a glass enclosure. No metal. Only glass. And I think we're fine. Unless they'll eat that too, but it seems like they only really have an appetite for metal. But just a theory, just a thought. Just house them in like a glass enclosure and don't leave your jewelry around them. And I think we're fine. I think we're in the clear. All right, metamorphosis. Cocooning. Once a caterpillar has gained enough weight and concentrated enough metals within its body, it will climb the tallest structure nearby, usually an ironwood tree, and begin the long process of building itself a cocoon. Some of the metals ingested across the lifetime of the caterpillar are woven into the fine silk strands, granting them the strength to hold the absurdly heavy caterpillar aloft, even in extreme weather conditions. The silk is not only incredibly strong and light, but also conducive to electricity, making it highly desirable for artisans across a wide variety of professions. While most cocoons will contain largely iron from the ironwood trees, domestication attempts have revealed that the silk can contain any metal fed to the caterpillars, and that some metals will naturally alloy inside the caterpillar's body. Pupation. Upon completion of the cocoon, the caterpillar will shed its exoskeleton one final time, depositing a treasure trove of valuable metal on the inside of the cocoon. The soft body of the pupa will begin to harden on the outside, as the inside begins the process of metamorphosis. The process typically takes an entire year, during which the cocoon must keep the developing moth safe. Pupation is the most dangerous time in the life of a lantern moth, because shortly after pupation begins, the majority of value of a lantern moth is available for harvest. But harvesting the cocoon and pupal shell before the moth emerges naturally will kill the moth. The long wait between this availability of value and the emergence is often too much of a temptation for common folk who find them, making the lantern moth a species whose continued existence is threatened by the tragedy of the commons. Where am I on the list? You're actually next. So good news. Yes, you are next. We're most of the way through this one. So very soon, very soon. In the moth stage, upon completion of metamorphosis, the once worm's greed caterpillar is now a lantern moth and must break open its pupal cage and cocoon. When it does so, it leaves behind a treasure trove for anyone who finds it. The moth will crawl up the surface it cocooned on and begin to unfurl its wings. The wings of a lantern moth have a mirror-like shine to them, and any light which scatters across them is reflected back into the environment as if it were bounced off of 1,000 tiny mirrors. The moth gets its name from its soft yellow bioluminescence, which reflects off of its wings when active. From a distance, the moth appears like a dancing lantern in the woods, and when enough moths gather in the canopy, it's like having a festival in the forest. Now full adults, the moths outsize even large eagles. Males typically have a wingspan of 2.5 to 2.7 meters, while females have a wingspan of 3 to 3.5 meters. Though they have left most of their armor behind in their cocoon, Their bodies still have a thin metallic shell, and their wings are made out of the shiniest, purest metals the moths ate as caterpillars. Male moths will have a large antenna which appear like ferns made from dozens of knives, while females have larger bodies and wingspans, as well as brighter bioluminescence. And reproduction. Lantern moths typically live 8 to 12 months after reaching adulthood, surviving off of the food stores built up in their earlier life stages. At night, the moths court potential partners before copulating. This is TOS friendly. The female will store the male reproductive cells inside of herself for weeks, all while courting new moths each night. Ooh, she's a player. After courting nearly a dozen males and storing their reproductive cells, the female will find an appropriate place to begin laying their eggs. She will deposit the eggs hanging from the bottom of ironwood trees, using the reproductive cells of only the best males she courted in the weeks prior. On the way out, the eggs are coated in a fluid that helps them harden long enough to let the larva inside develop. The female will lay a new clutch of eggs every 6 to 8 weeks until she becomes too weak to fly. Once she can no longer fly, she will land on a nearby tree and die. Over the next few days after her death, her body will become a hollow metal shell. In the natural order of things, her wings would be devoured by hungry caterpillars, happy to find a good source of high purity metals. Males have a similar but simpler time reproducing. Male lantern moths spend their adult lives finding and copulating with as many females as they can. Between copulations, males will follow the scent of the female's egg-hardening secretions, hoping to spread their reproductive cells to eggs they may not have had a hand in making before the shells harden. It's hard to say if this is effective for them, or if it has other benefits to the species. And so, cultural significance. Festivals. Despite all of the failed attempts at domestication, the presence of the moths at night is still considered a good omen in Cuthane. The city holds several festivals each year where the moths are celebrated or honored in some fashion. During the summer months, the villagers conduct the procession of lights and walk slowly in a line through the forest while carrying paper lanterns decorated like moths in hopes of guiding the moths to their ancestral home in the ironwood forest. In the last days before the winter snow, the village conducts the silk hunt. During the silk hunt, villagers climb trees to inspect cocoons, looking for abandoned cocoons to harvest, to pay for supplies and make it through the winter. If they find occupied cocoons, they're carefully documented and checked on regularly to prevent early harvest and the deaths of the moths inside. Paper Gauntlet, hello, hi. I'm feeling significantly less crusty. Life is so much better now. so thankfully I'm good. I'm better. Still a little gunky, still a little bit yucky in the residuals, but that doesn't go away for a long time, or so I hear. We are about to finish up reading this article. And so the products and economics. Nearly every stage of a lantern moth's life offers some monetary gain if taken, but by far the most valuable individual thing about the species is the cocoons it makes. The silk can be processed into lightweight armor, incredible building materials, nearly unbreakable rope, or, when gathered in large quantities, cloth that keeps the user cool. The second most beneficial thing the moth produces is the large amount of high purity metals it leaves in the cocoon after emerging into adulthood. Finally, once an adult, the wings can be cut off and turned into ultra-thin mirrors, or turned into highly prized art pieces, or commonly, fine hand mirrors for noble women. Unfortunately, the harvest of all these materials hurts the species as a whole. All of the things that could be harvested could also be eaten by the next generation of caterpillars. Over-harvesting leads to the caterpillars relying more heavily on eating the ironwood trees. It remains to be seen if the forest can handle this added pressure in the long term. Ooh. Yeah, I hope the rest goes away fast. I do too. Oh, I think I'm last, which means I don't think I'll be able to be here. I can just bump you up the list. You know, there's no rules. But of course we gotta hit Kit Toy Poy's article first. But Line, the rules. This is my challenge. These are my rules. But yeah, we love Spleen though, so we can't just have him miss out.
Refresh yourselves.
Here we go. We have Kit Toy Poy's article up next. Ooh, let me just send this link to the article that we just read in case anyone wants to go circle back. Leave it a little like. Have a sippy for breaking the rules. Oh, I will. Ah, thank you. I don't like the robot faces. Oh, and yeah, I'm shrimping, I know. I'll break your bones for breaking the
Refresh
rules.
yourselves.
Oh, everyone's redeeming everything right now. Everyone stretch. Everyone stretch. Get your bones in the right positions and orders. I think mine like to just kind of jump around.
Refresh yourselves.
Oh my goodness. Hold on, I've sips to catch up on. That's a one. Ah, and there's two. Fantastic. And so, here we have Kitoipoi's article. So we're gonna dive into this one conveniently, so we can make sure that we get your read out of the way before you have to go run off and help the kiddos. There we go. The Sky Crown Starfruit Tree. Ooh. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. I need to. Oh, yeah. Oh, delicious, perfect. So, Java ilmerendion el pilando, fruit of the Sky Crown Starseed Tree. I tried to read that the best I could, while also going quickly, so that kind of worked against me, but that's okay. The living sky ships of the elves grow in a mysterious grove deep in the Hearthome Forest. They keep their methods secret, and we non-elves don't know what the Telperian ships actually are. Some theorize that there are many trees grown together, or a flower, or just a seed. We only know that they are the fastest ships in the world, and that they are alive. And from the instructor of recruits. And despite our long history of mutual murder, I'm actually quite fond of the elvish grunts. I bled side by side with quite a few point-eared blade singers, and I've been aboard a few of their ships, mostly the little ones that look like bugs or flowers. They only allow Vindicator troops on Sky Crowns, but the one bad shatter I got evac'd out on the TSS Reign of Therion. I swear it smelled like a big pineapple. Ooh, yummy. That's our quote from Sergeant Killplayer. Heck yeah. In the depths of Hearthome Forest lies a sacred grove of Tarna Care. Here, the elves grow Telperian sky ships that give them dominance over the sky and space between Arathia and its moons. Only members of Thea's Vindicators and the nobility of the kingdom of Emrentel may visit. The elves grow their ships from a variety of plants, using botanical artifice mixed with elven magic. Their largest ships, dreadnoughts known as Sky Crowns, come from the Ilmerendi Elenfel, the Sky Crown Starseed. These immense bromeliads each bear one fruit. The Ilmerendi Titanic 300-foot-tall mass, brimming with primal magic energy. In nature, it takes a millennium to grow to maturity. If left unharvested, the ripe Sky Crown explodes, launching a starseed into space in search of a new world to take root on. This world is home, but I am not of it. I first saw light on a world beyond, before the age of mortals. I rode the starseed here. I planted the grove. I ended the empire of stars. Now the Sky Crowns grow again. I fear what we may become again. That is from Queen Mother Aphidril. Harvesting the starseed. Before the Yave Ilmerendian El Palaldo ripens in cosmic fire and destroys the sacred grove, the elves work diligently to tame its power. The recombination of ancient druidic topiary and modern Maharlatech, they accelerate to ripen in a mere century. They mold the living fruit into a vessel capable of flight and ready to fight. They cultivate it to follow the ancient blueprint of an elven sky crown, the shape of a butterfly. I don't know how to say it either, so you're doing great. Oh, fantastic. Are you okay? Are you one of those world builders who just kind of makes things up, makes up sounds, makes up words, and then gives it to other people to see how they say it, to decide how it's actually pronounced? Like you just write some random thing and it's like, here you go, friend. Read this out loud for me. See what happens. It's a good strategy, not gonna lie to you. Yeah, stealing from Tolkien's Elvish languages. Those are really cool. So I don't blame you. Where was I? Ah, yes, the starseed forms the body with crystalline wings grafted onto it. The decks, portholes, and interiors are grown into place without cutting into the living tissue of the skycrown fruit. The elven craftsmen and artisans nurture a small ecosystem on the ship that will support the crew and the starseed itself. They introduce symbiotic epiphytes, ferns, and plants that produce edible fruits. Honeybees, Baku, and cats are invited to dwell on the living ship. Oh, the Baku! I love them. I was looking at that article the other day. I love life on a sky crown. I sleep on a bed of moss and I eat fresh fruit covered in honey for every meal. Even though the ship isn't intelligent as we mortals know it, she is alive. She knows us, she loves us, and she takes care of us. We do the same for her. That's Lieutenant Amaru Lowlin, Thayan Armada. Katoy is a great writer. Everything I read from you is just cool. You drop so many like really cool bits of information and just like every little part of your article. Just like every little paragraph is like, oh, we learn more about like this little thing and this little thing and this connection from somewhere else in your world. And it's just like that's really cool. That's really fun. Okay, remembering how words work. Skycrown dreadnoughts. The Skycrown dreadnoughts form the backbone of the Thayan Armada. The Armada reportedly has a dozen Skycrowns, but they lack the personnel to fly all of them at once. 6 of them, with accompanying fleets, patrol between the Shattered Moon, the southwest canton of the Kirinal Concordant Zone, and the Elven Kingdoms. The other 6 abide in Tornacair and Locorn, waiting for enough Entulus elves to be born to crew them. How can the enemy stand against 1,000 Sky Crowns? We send 1 million elves to war. Our victory is assured. Therion Elf King announces the first armada. Interstellar past and future. The elves gave up an empire in the stars before the Age of Mortals even began. They rode the starseeds back to Arathia and gave up their starfaring ways. They returned to their homeworld and allowed the Ilmerendian El Palado to go dormant. They harvested the great seeds before they could ripen and announced their presence to the stars. Some say they came home to hide. But from what? Those million elves all died, by the way. Oh, ain't it good when life just works out for everybody? It's so good when all of your carefully crafted plans just don't go. Yes, this is really cool. This is a really cool article. I like just like the ships made from plants and like traveling on these little seeds that just like traverse the stars. That's so cool. So cool. It's like it's really adding this like that kind of sci-fi spacefaring vibe to this world that I really associate this as like, like heavy on the fantasy for the most part, like for the most part. It's like that, I don't know, like space travel, space, the final frontier. We're out there. Ancient Aliens vibes, yeah, but the aliens were elves, yeah. So here's that link for everybody. Go check it out. Go give some love to our wonderful friends. Let's see, where are we? We're gonna do... We're gonna grab the people on a time crunch, so we're just gonna jump ahead. We're gonna jump ahead to Spleen's article. Yes, okay. So we have this one. I'm just gonna start opening all of these like in order, so I have to stop scrolling through the list. Fantastic, fantastic. Cool. So there she is. This article from Spleen with the stonemason crabs. Okay, so what I'm going to do. Let's see, hold on. I need to change something real quick. A little setting, as it were. I'm gonna run my kid around. I'll be back in an hour-ish. Absolutely, Katoy Boy. Enjoy. You go have a good time. Let's see, where am I? This. This? No, hold on. Sorry, I'm looking for... I'm looking for a setting that I just need to change real quick. And then we'll get right back onto our regularly scheduled events. Okay, no. Okay, never mind. Okay, we're fine. However, we do have an ad scheduled to start in about 2 minutes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run that right now, and we're going to do our little sippy break. Everyone, stand and stretch, do some stuff, take care of yourself, and then we'll come right back to our wonderful reading. So, I don't know. If you're subscribed, I'll still be like sitting here, just like booling around. Just a little break time for everybody. It's set to start in like a minute and a half, so whatever. We're just gonna take it now, so we can read uninterrupted, have a little sip. You know, we'll make a whole like production out of this. Stand and stretch. Look at me. Here I am with my pajama pants. Look at me go. Do little stretchies. Ooh. Bend in weird angles. Amazing. So powerful, so strong. Oh, mistakes. Leg hurt. This is why we stretch. Yeah, yoga instructor Strixline today. Greetings, welcome to today's yoga lesson. The lesson for today is don't. just don't. Stretching hurty. But no, it's really good. No, we could even go so far as to just do some we can just like do some squats. You know, everybody do your squats. I'm not bending down low enough, but I'm like my chair's like right behind me. I guess I could like squat into sit and up. There we go. Fitness moments. I'm just hear some knee crunches probably. It could be any number of things. It could have been my knees, my hips, my ankles. So many things could have cracked there. But the ad should be over. We should be back. And hello. Hi everyone. Welcome. We're gonna read about some crabs. You're really gonna shrimp check me the moment I just stopped stretching and doing things? Oh my goodness. All right, little last second stretch. Yeah, of course. But all right, we gotta get into business mode. We got an article to read. We got several articles to read. We got a whole lot of great stuff to go into. So did I share this link? No. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Here's the link, everyone, for the sand mason crab. So fun. And you're doing like this species a day project. Oh, that's so fun. I need to get on to like some kind of challenge, like ongoing like personal challenge. Cuz like you're doing species a day, Mochi's doing like article a day. Like I don't know. I got to figure out something for myself. Something I'll stick with. Something I'll enjoy. Something that's not going to burn me out cuz ooh. So it's like, does anyone else feel like a fire going right now? Because I do. We're not good right now, but it's fine. It's fine. The challenge is right. Yeah, that's a challenge on its own. All right, the sand mason crab. Da-da-da-da. The sand mason crab is a small crustacean that lives in the whirlpool reefs, known for their colorful shells made from pieces of coral that have fallen away from larger organisms. The species lives in shallow, warm water and create their own shells. The appearance of a sand mason crab's shell varies greatly between each individual member of the species and are handcrafted over the span of their lifetime from debris found on the ocean floor. When faced with a lack of material, the species is able to ingest sand and compress it into firm but moldable material, which they can use to repair cracks in their shell and even form new extensions onto it. As the sand mason crab grows, it carves out a space in the interior of its shell and adds onto the outside. Ooh. On average, a sand mason's crab shell will be composed of entirely new material within the span of 3 years. When rearing young, adult sand mason crabs will create their initial shells for their children. Oh, that's so good. I love them. They're just they just like they build their own shells. That's so fun. I know like hermit crabs and such, they just like find shells to live in, but these guys are just making them. That's so good. I love it. So they're little house builders. They're little carpenters of the sea. So anatomy. Standing at only half a foot tall at their largest, sand mason crabs would go almost entirely unnoticed if not for their colorful patchwork shells. They have sandy beige skin and their abdomens are curled inside of their shells. They're able to retract fully. Why did I read it like that? I don't retract. Anyway, they are able to retract fully into their shells and will do so for protection from predators or stronger currents. They have 10 legs, the front 3 of which are moved to use around. Their last 2 pairs of legs are used to secure the crab to its shell. Sand mason crab's digestive system protrudes from its body, curling around its abdomen. Though still protected by its shell, this leaves the species vulnerable if they are ever separated from their shelter. As such, they develop incredibly strong hind legs to ensure the shell will never come off. Ooh, they're so fun. And they live, oh my gosh, they live a long time. They live 50 to 55 years. And on average, they're about 4 to 7 inches in height. That's so cool. I love them. I love the idea of them just like, I don't know, just like finding all these different little colorful corals and other things. And just kind of just popping them on there, making them their homes. I love it. Amazing. Thank you for submitting this. I think that was worth jumping the line for. So let me just share that link again now that the read is complete. There you go. Go on visit while I gather the next entry. This is a fun challenge. Now I gotta go absolutely enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for sticking around and thank you for your wonderful submission. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye, goodbye. All right, summoning our next entry on the list. We'll go back to list order. But again, likewise, if anyone in the chat right now is like, hey, I have to go really soon, can you read mine next? I will. I absolutely will. We're just gonna go in submission order until then, because it's just way easier for me to keep track of. But we have the Neutron Weaver by Tankium. Ooh. This one's really interesting. Just the concept, the name. Here we go. Neutron Weaver species. Yeah, it looks pretty. It looks pretty cool. I don't know if the cover image is related to the thing or if it's just the world cover. It's different from the world cover, but not. It's fine. It's fine. I think it's a placeholder. All right. Neutron weavers, a non-sentient species inhabiting the surface of Urgand, the Anagon neutron star. Neutron weavers are known to be relatively small critters of the neutron star. However, neutron star life is already famously small. Anagons, who weigh about as much as a human, are just about 0.2 millimeters tall on average, leading neutron weavers to be too small for a human. Oh, is that? Yeah, 0.2 millimeters tall on average, leading neutron weavers to be too small for a human to see with the naked eye. So they're very tiny, but they weigh about as much as a person. That's nuts. Gravity wild. Neutron weavers are also known to form hives out of highly compact lattice of neutron QCD matter called neutronium crystal in order to keep their predators away. This extremely strong compound can be woven with high precision, allowing neutron weavers to build gaps small enough for weavers to fit while disallowing predators' entry. In fact, this material is so strong that Anagon technocracy has taken note of it and used it in various Anagon houses, and even starships as ship armor. It is very strong because the material relies on the strong nuclear force rather than the electromagnetic force to remain stable, the former of which is far more powerful. Neutronium crystal is named such because it is a dense lattice of neutrons. It is reminiscent of the chemical structure of some crystals. Even the Anagon race has had difficulty synthesizing it in their past. Due to this, they had to harvest the neutronium crystal from neutron weavers themselves. As neutronium crystal became expensive, this has formed a highly lucrative industry. Of course, with sufficient technological advancements, they were recently able to create it in the laboratory, so the Anagons might see an industrial overhaul soon. Oh, that's exciting. It's always interesting seeing like how people write into their worlds like, hey, we have this new material. What are we gonna do with it? It's like that's always the question. Like, you find something new, you find something revolutionary, just what is the next step? Like where are we going from here? Okay, so their basic information: anatomy. Neutron weavers have strong carapace protecting their relatively oval-shaped main body. They also have a head extruding from the front, as well as 6 legs, 3 on each side. Due to the immense gravitational force of the neutron star, these legs are extremely strong. Genetics and reproduction. However, neutron weavers don't cover their eggs with neutronium crystal because they would not hatch due to sheer strength. Instead, they place several into a large room with a door and allow them to hatch as a group. Dietary needs and habits. Creating neutronium crystal also requires a lot of energy. Neutron weavers tend to eat a lot of plant matter when they are active during the day. This includes most kinds of grass and leaves. Despite this, they actually hibernate during winter and leave construction purely to summer. Their perception and sensory capabilities. As neutron star weavers are extremely small, they could only see UV radiation instead of visible light. They can also hear, especially since the atmosphere of a neutron star is extremely dense. They only have effective near-field hearing, but they will know if anything approaches them. So that's really cool. We got little star buggies. Got star buggies, and they make a material that is used as ship armor. And the people, it seems, have learned how to synthesize it. So that's really fun. That's really cool. Another thanks. Thanks to our friend who isn't here, of course, for submitting this. I want to thank everyone who has submitted to this because this is really fun. It's just like running a challenge. Running a challenge is so cool because it's just, I don't know. Like we have 28 articles on my list of like things that people made, like things people wrote because I said, "Hey, you know what would be a really cool idea? If you wrote about this topic." If you wrote about this topic and did this thing, like wouldn't that be so cool? And 28 people were like, "Yeah. Yeah, that would be pretty cool." And they actually did it. They did it. And one of those people is Eddie. So here's a little link for everybody for the graveyard fairies. Here we go. I'll take my little sip. Oh, keep ourselves nice and sipped up between reads. So here they are. Okay. So the overview. Graveyard fairies are the same species as the normal fairies and the chocolate fairy, and descendants from the more common fairy. Oh, I left out the height and everything. It's okay. You can just tell me now, and or you can edit it now, and I'll just like, oops, the page refreshed. Um, yeah, and descendants from the more common fairy, but they have a knack for teeth and art, which is strange at first, but beautiful in the long run. Most cultures think about them as some kind of blessing. Only a few don't like and hunt them down whenever they can. But that is rare, so we can assume that graveyard fairies are venerated to a certain degree. Their history. Nobody is entirely sure when, how, and why a fairy decided that she should take a closer look at a tooth of another being, but, well, they did, and started to paint. Past walkers had found doodles of ancient folk in some caves in the north, and so it is safe to say they started with their practice in the area. Past walker research showed they ventured in all directions from there and started to show up on graveyards and burial sites, preferably at burial sites where people were cremated so they can find some teeth. The paint of some burial sites are estimated around the Dragon Sun Empire or even older, when the clans were still in place. Over the decades and centuries, the fairies spread over the lands and got accustomed to Holwar elves or dwarves. Yes, even under the mountains, the graveyard fairies are a thing and dwarves honor them. But the dwarves have their own customs, so the fairies just watch and get a tooth. The elves venerate them as well, and, depending on their customs, include the fairies in their own burial rituals, especially the wood elves within their relationship with the druids. The silver elves have a very special relationship with the graveyard fairies because of their own relationship with the moon, the chill night, and all kinds of death. There is only one species which is not visited by the common graveyard fairy, and that is the underlings. Nobody knows why, but the theory goes because of their otherworldly behavior and genes. It states that the fairies can't read their teeth, like the read in quotes. Tells us they have a very different perception. But until the day the spiral incident, the graveyard fairies counted into the hundreds. Now there are only a few dozens left, and they reproduce slowly and only during the chill nights of winter. Actions. What is a graveyard fairy doing, and how are they doing it, one might ask? That is a good question, and the answer is as simple as she is complicated. They read teeth, and so the history of the being it belonged to. How they are doing it, nobody can say for sure. It might be some inherited magic or a feeling they get from the teeth itself, and they are correct. Always. After they have read a tooth, they memorize every little detail and paint it. In Vretha, they paint the life, memories, secrets, dinners, dreams, and whatnot onto the white urns of people Vretha use for the ashes of their loved ones. Wait, this is really cute. Hold on, wait, that's really, I like this. I like this, hold on. The fairy gets a small wooden plate as a votive offering, a thanks for them for their hard work. The fairy uses it to build their home wherever it might be, in a tree, in the ceiling, in a shallow grave, or between fields and meadows. Their behavior is not so skittish or pranky as normal fairies or the chocolate fairies. The graveyard fairies are more careful, more thoughtful. This does not mean that they don't have a sense of fairy humor, which can be seen as cruel or cryptic, but they do not try to pull pranks which may be harmful to other non-fairy beings. So, listen, it is really cute. Like, oh, they look at the memories of your loved ones and paint them on their urns when they die. It's like, that's such a wonderful tradition. That's so cool. That's such a fun little detail. Like you can preserve so much of like a person's like actual real memories and not just like what people around them think I don't know, you know. Like it is the truth. The fairies see no lie. Right, the living areas. It is not entirely sure if graveyards or burial sites are the only places they inhabit, but they are more often found there than in the literal wild. One might spot a lonely fairy in a tree or in a meadow, but it is more realistic that one finds a fairy circle. A circle of stones, mushrooms, or small branches arranged in a circle. Probably for counsel, planning their next prank, or just sharing their stories. Nobody had actually seen a gathering of fairies, they all disappear when one comes closer. Not even silver elves had seen one of those. But the living areas of a graveyard fairy are basically dense down to burial sites, graveyards, and places of death. There are some exceptions, of course. Sometimes a fairy gets bored or has had enough of all this death, or, which is more often the case, sees something so traumatizing that she quits. That can mean two things. She lives with other beings and makes herself useful, or she fades away. Oh, Twitch had a little glitch? Oh no. Oh no, well, welcome back. Hello, hello. Are we living? Are we fine? I hope we're okay. Yeah, because my manager said that was like offline for a second. I don't know. I don't know. Hello. How are we? And so the tales. Is this true? Yes. All all of that? Yes. His dreams, his dinners, his memories. The fairy sees it all. But that means he still loved me? According to this, yes. No betrayal, no affair, just you and your lives. Apparently he wanted to build a house for your family. Oh, loud, uncontrollable sobbing. Oh. And the widow with graveyard keeper. This is all that's left. I'm afraid so. Our love, our little baby. What if there's nothing? No dreams, no memories, nothing. I doubt it. The fairy will see it. Even when she was a baby, she would have remembered things. And be it your warmth or the sound of your heart, voice, or breath. Come, child, let the fairies do their work. They know best. A mother with her daughter and the urn of their granddaughter. Oh. The caves were silent. Somewhere dripped water from the stone ceiling into a small puddle. Candles, lanterns, and torches shed some light, showed the small indents with the urns and wooden plates. Most of the plates were gone, some remained. The pictures on the urns were mostly finished, yet only two seemed to be abandoned or simply not finished. The war had taken a toll. The fairies had a lot to do with paintings and seeing the lives of the now dead. Maybe he had disturbed them during their work. As he looked around, he spotted one of the fairies. She was small, a bit larger than his head, and surprisingly big purple eyes looked at him curiously. Her behavior showed him that she was ready to flee at any second or any sudden movement. Her wings looked like a butterfly or moth, but iridescent in black, purple, and blue, as though like oil poured onto water. He slowly bowed and retreated. Better to not disturb the fairies. Yeah, they're so good, and that's the end of the article. I love these fairies. They're so cool. I don't know, there's like a lot about them, like a lot of like different facets to like their traits and their behavior. It's really fun. Like they're weird, elusive, not so mischievous, a lot more like serious because they deal so much with death. I'm really stuck on like the painting of the urns. Like I just think that's such a cool detail. It's such a cool detail to have in your world. Thank you for reading. Thank you for submitting. This is really great. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, you know, all these articles that I'm reading right now, like I'm seeing all these really cool ideas and oh, this was inspired by my challenge. Like, oh my goodness. I write the main article about fairies in the near future. Heck yeah. Oh, and look who's next on our list. If it isn't Mochi Monoban. Man, I have to. And my quest was given to read this in my best British accent. But here's that link again to the article that we just finished. So everyone go pop on over, go give some likes, some comments. Everyone should love our friends. Oh, I'm gonna have a little sip. Fantastic. And so here we are on our new adventure. Over on the False Island Jelly. Now I have to know if Mochi is still here and alive. Because a glitch was mentioned. Alright. Hello! Hi! Does my quest still stand, Mochi? Am I reading this in my finest English? That wasn't an example, by the way, that was just me sounding fancy. I'll do it. Yes, please. Okay. I'll try my best. If you want to. Why not, right? It's part of the challenge. It's part of the fun. The Jelly Island. I know, I just like a little sneak peek for everybody, but like, oh, we got art in here. So fun. Yes, we have the False Island Jelly. I was chilling in my submarine, exploring the area around the city, until I saw a cool island in the distance. I went up to it, and these fat fucking paddles reached out and I could feel the electricity from like 10 meters away. It wasn't the vibe. Kevlon talking about his near-death experience. False Island jellies offer some of the best camouflage in Chirophis. With their outer appearance as an underwater floating island, they draw animals in with their luscious adorned foliage, only to be electrocuted and boiled from the inside out. I'm like trying to decide, like, should I just use my like regular voice, or should I like nature documentary, be like super serious like David Attenborough, just like the largest jelly species on the planet. False Island jellies can reach 250 meters in length. Like, am I trying to be like serious right now? Just like really, just like pull it in, like nature documentary. All right. Like my best nature documentary voice. While their tentacles are not particularly massive compared to their bell can reach to 100 meters in diameter. The jelly's most defining features are the bell and pair of paddle tentacles. The bell has a light brown color, similar to a floating island from a distance. The pair of paddle tentacles are much larger than the other tentacles. The paddles are pink color, used to dig into the seabed to stop the jelly from drifting too far, and for extra camouflage. The gonads, I like that. I like that gonads is bold. The gonads are horseshoe shape, similar to that of the Chirophian sun jelly of the same family, Ulmeridae. Look at this art. Look at this beautiful creature. Got the little paddles. A savage sting. Both paddles are lined with sparked barbs and unique patterns. If false island jellies could be approached easily, these barbs would be used to tell individuals apart. The barbs are wired to an electric organ capable of producing electricity up to 5 megavolts? Million volts. Okay, 5 million. Yes, that word. The jellies have full control over the voltage, however, and producing that much electricity is almost never seen. It has been speculated that these paddles contain a basic nervous system, given that the jelly is known to react to pain in the paddles, but no other part of the body. False island jellies have been observed using these paddles to deter threats too, by rustling them together to light up the surrounding waters with static electricity. Like the little paddle illustration. Yeah, Mochi makes really cool art. I really like looking at Mochi's articles. Diet. A carnivorous species, false island jellies will capture and consume anything it can kill, producing the highest voltage seen in any species on Chirophis, even more than what cephalons have been able to generate artificially. These jellies have no problem finding prey. While the paddles are embedded into the ground, the other tentacles float in the water to catch prey. These tentacles do not carry a sting, instead lined with thin barbs that can pierce through thick skin and scales. The paddles then boil the prey alive, and it is brought to the mouth for consumption. Reproduction and growth. False island jellies had the same reproductive stages as any other jelly species in Ulmeridae. Life starts at an egg, which is fertilized when males release strings of sperm into the water and is ingested by females. Eggs will hatch into the larvae, which settle on the seabed, forming polyps. The polyps will asexually reproduce, bud, and form strobila, also known as budding polyps. These buds break off and form ephridae. That one. Which turn into medusa, the most commonly known form of a jellyfish. Look at this little life cycle. Let's have a little peep. Oh, she little. Anyway. So the life cycle of false island jellyfish. Egg. Larva. Polyp. Sophistoma. Ooh. Budding polyps. Ephira. Young adult and medusa. The habitat. One of just 3 superspecies from the Eureka Ocean, this is the only region they are found. False island jellies are a common species in the polyp, larva, and ephirae forms, but rare as a medusa. Vulnerable in polyp states, they inhabit small crevices where predators struggle to reach them. The free-floating epherae are prey items for many filter feeders around the seabeds. Their small size means they get caught in currents. This isn't an issue for fully grown medusae. Medusa actively avoid floating islands to better help their camouflage. Medusa never stray far from when they grew as polyps. The polyps absorb as many nutrients as possible, and these exact same nutrients are found in the adult medusae. This helps the jelly cultivate plants atop their bells. Behavior. False island jellies exhibit shocking intelligence for a jellyfish species. They have been continuously studied for hundreds of years, as their level of intelligence is far beyond any other jelly species on Chorophis. False island jellies have been observed terrorizing others of their species. When approaching conspecifics, the jelly would fill with the other's tentacles to trick it into thinking it had caught prey. Oh, that's rude. It's the little terror of the sea. I like the little marine life doodles. They're fun. And green thumb. These crafty jellyfish have a terrific eye for detail. They share a symbiotic relationship with gardener porpoises, small marine mammals that like to adorn the jellyfish with various sessile life forms to give it an even better appearance as a floating island. The porpoise receives protection from the jellies by resting on its bell, while it aids the jellyfish in capturing prey. It is theorized that the jellyfish tell the porpoises what foliage to place and where on the bell to place it, because clear communication between the species has been observed. This theory is backed by the fact that the jellies have a clear individual style and taste in foliage, as porpoises have been seen bringing certain plants to the jellies, immediately removing them, or bringing even more of that species. Gotta read more Yonderverse stuff? I agree, everyone should read more Yonderverse stuff. And the good news is there's so much. There's so much you can dive into. And there's more like every single day, which is insane to me. Yes, immediately removing them or bringing even more of that species. Jellies, without the porpoises, have been stirring up benthic plants with their paddles, attempting to maneuver them onto their bells. The gardens atop these false jellies has inspired many agricultural gardens around urban areas of the Eureka Ocean. Yippee! And so there we go. That's the end of that article. I hope you enjoyed my best nature documentary voice. I certainly did my best. If you want to read more, we got more stuff. We got the article about Chirophis and the sun jelly and polyp harvesters. Ooh. So this is so fun. This is so fun. Okay. Inspect by Obringo Brr. I forgot to make my computer crafty, so that's fine. It's fine. I love them. Here's that link again. Everyone, go spread some love to this wonderful, wonderful friend. And if you want to read more Yonderverse, no better time than the present. So let's see who we got next. Ooh, we got Basic Dragon. Yeah, there's about 450 species articles if you want more. So yeah, I don't think you're going to be running out anytime soon. Alright, fantastic. Alright, we have Basic Dragon up next. Yippee. Fantastic. Starbies. That's where I get my coffee. That's actually a lie. I don't really go to Starbucks. But here they are. Yippee. There's Moobot coming to interrupt me, as it often does. Yeah, Mochi has Mochi has a literal zoo. Like that is a literal thing that they have in this world. Hi Satrium, how are you? Welcome, welcome. We're doing a little article reads. And we're about to get started with Basic Dragon's Starbies. They're so cute. Or I haven't actually read the article yet. I'm just saying they're cute because I love bees. All right, let's get into it, shall we? The star honey from Terria is my favorite type of honey. Some say that it's magical. I just think that it tastes the best. A station inhabitant. A star bee is a flying insect from the northern west hemisphere of the planet of Terria. Bees are a very common insect on the planet, and the star bees are the only bees in the clade that produces honey. The species spread over the northern west hemisphere of the planet naturally until the sapient species of the planet get a hold of them. Now domesticated, they exist over the whole planet, with several subspecies and breeds. The star bees have a segmented body consisting of three main parts: the head, thorax, and abdomen. The head has sensory organs like compound eyes for keen vision and antennae for detecting pheromones and environmental cues. The thorax has powerful muscles that drive their wings, enabling agile flight and intricate maneuvers essential for foraging and hive maintenance. Additionally, the thorax has specialized structures, such as pollen baskets on the legs for collecting and transporting pollen. The digestive system, wax glands, and venom sacs lie within the abdomen, essential for honey production, hive construction, and defense. Reproduction and genetics. The queen is the only bee to reproduce in a star bee hive. She will have one mating flight, during which she will store enough sperm to lay eggs throughout her 2 to 3 year lifespan. During her life, she lays about 2,000 eggs per day. She's a hardworking queen. When a queen dies, the worker bees will pick a suitable larva and condition for them to become the next queen. An egg fertilized by the queen bee will become a female worker bee or the next queen, while an unfertilized egg will become a male drone, whose only role is to mate with the next queen. When a new queen is needed, when a new queen is needed, the larva chosen will continue to be fed royal jelly after the 2 days that all of the larvae have fed it. This will change how genes are developed and as larvae grow. And the growth stages. Like most insects on Terria, star bees grow through 4 life stages: egg, larva, pupa, and adult. The queen will lay her eggs in cells prepared by worker bees. The worker bees are the ones who decide the ratio of worker bees to drone bees depending on the size of the cells. The eggs will hatch into larvae. The stage takes 7 to 8 days for drones, 6 to 7 days for the worker bees, and only 5 to 6 days for the new queen. As larvae, they will stay in their cells for around 6 days as the worker bees seal the cells as the larvae create a cocoon. The bee will stay in the pupa stage for about 2 weeks until it eats its way out of the pupa to become an adult. And I do apologize, I didn't notice we have an ad starting in like 3 seconds. So I will finish this article. We will not move on. And we'll come back in about a minute and a half whenever, all of that happens. But the final section, star honey. The star honey that the star bees produce is a large export for this planet. The honey has tiny shining specks of light in it. Removing the shining lights from the honey is impossible, as the lights will go out when anyone tries. The red-orange to sometimes green-orange honey is shimmering and is usually stored in glass bottles for people to admire. It is said that star honey will prolong your life and make your physical body more healthy. That's really fun. I'm like, ooh. I'm so intrigued by like the aesthetics of like starry bees and like the honey that they produce. Like it's a red orange, sometimes green orange. There's some cool colors. There's some really cool, really interesting colors for honey. People say it's magical. Some people just say it tastes really good. So, it's just like a whole mix of things for everybody. So that was really fun. Here is the link to the article that we have just read. Of course, middle of an ad, but whatever. do enjoy this article. This is really cute. I like it. I like how simple it is, and it tells you everything you need to know about this creature, what they do, what they make. I'm getting so excited about all these articles that are coming my way. Okay. Let me see. I have another article pulled up right now. Translate. Okay. So yes, the next article on the list is in German. Like the entirety of it is. And I can't read that. I don't my brain doesn't go that way. But we can but we can translate it, and it'll be all fine. It may not sound exactly as written when it's translated, but whatever. Don't need to be exact. Let's bring this back down to this size. I'm just doing all my little setup while I know that there are ads going, so I'm just hanging out. Only for a sec. But we'll okay, I'll cue this up. I don't know, we should be done, right? I think everyone's back. Yeah, the Verkehrsbringer. Or Verkehrsjumper. I don't know. I don't know if it's like the I don't know if it's the translation. Yeah. Because it's translating differently like in the title versus in the breadcrumb. That's what the word is. And so in the breadcrumb it split it up into two words. Ah, Jesus. It's like breaking things. But we know I can't pass up a good article about birds, right? It's just not possible. Right. Vacay springers are beautiful to look at, and their construction is truly inspiring. No matter how many times parts of the nest break away, they will not give up until it cannot withstand the strongest storms. It's supposed to be good luck if a colony of these little feathered builders decides to become your neighbor. However, all I can say is that it's damn annoying when hundreds of little birds start screaming around an hour before sunrise and therefore throw you out of bed. As a quote from a fisherman of the non-Nathamal Erandia. So fun. And anatomy. The Verkehrsbringer is a small bird that can sit comfortably on the palm of a full-grown forest elf. With a body length of up to 15 cm and a weight of around 32 grams, the animal is one of the smaller migratory songbirds. However, some colonies of these animals remain in the equatorial jungle all year round. The male's plumage is a deep reddish-brown on the head, back, and wings, while the belly is green. A black eye band can be seen on the head and white whiskers on both sides. The female, on the other hand, has a simple mottled tree brown on the head and back, while the green belly plumage runs along the neck to the beak. And so that was just me looking up to see this, because yeah, because this is AI, so I'm like, is that reflected in the image, or? Yeah, a small white eye stripe pointing backwards can be seen on each of the eyes. Like the male, the female also has small white whiskers. The animal's short, sturdy beak is ideal for cracking and eating grains, seeds, and nuts. Locomotion. Small wings allow the bird to move nimbly in the air between the trees of the forest at high speed. The Verkehrsjumper, I like split it up there too, but sometimes, yeah, I think it's supposed to be read translated as like jumper. But anyway, it always flaps its wings several times to gain height before putting its wings on and falling back towards the ground to build up speed before using its wings to climb up. Hi Dex, welcome in. We're doing some article reads, so I'm reading about a bird right now. Where was I? Yeah, as a result, its flight path is reminiscent of a hare jumping, which gave it the name suffix jumper. On the ground, between the branches of the virke trees and their ring nests, the animals move with small and large hops. If you can catch a spring ringer, then release it, it'll bring you luck. Besides, there really isn't enough dry matter to make it worth eating. My goodness. All right. Reproduction and social behavior for these birds. So I'll say virke jumpers live in large colony swarms of up to 100 animals, which work together to build nests, search for food, and defend themselves against enemies. The nests in particular are true monuments of architectural art, which can only be created through perfect teamwork. There are no clear hierarchies within a colony, except that the females choose the males, and males who have not gotten a female at the end of the mating season have to take care of the guard and scout roles. Males, who in turn have been able to win over a female with their hopping courtship dance and calls, then take care of the maintenance of the nest and the female's food supply. Courtship begins in the Nespotar and the beginning of the Kasar at the latest. So Nespotar, third month of the year, spring, and Kasar is fourth of the month, or fourth month of the year, summer. The females lay 4 to 6 eggs in their nest cavity and incubate them continuously for 3 weeks. During the nesting phase, the males of a colony react particularly aggressively to any intruder that could pose a threat to the breeding females and their eggs. If such a predator approaches the nest, the animals react like a startled swarm of bees and attack the enemy with their pointed beaks in hopes of being able to drive them away. At the end of the 4 weeks, the young birds hatch and are provided with food by both parents and bachelors of the colony. However, the young fledge after just 18 days and explore the colony building by fluttering and hopping. I love that they have like a little like colony building, basically. That's so fun. Since the young no longer return to their own nest cavity within the ring structure, all the animals in the colony simply begin to look after all the young birds, jumping around the best they can. Oh, so there's like a whole colony is full of little like hopping baby birds all over the place, and all the parents are like, well, I guess you're all my problem now. It doesn't matter who you belong to, you're all my problem. It's all teamwork. Just it really takes a village. Bring it to the to that popular phrase. Yeah, adorable mental image. I love it. Da-da-da. Whether with food or a place to sleep. Oh yeah, okay. It then takes another 2 weeks before the young ones are able to stand on their own 2 feet and have to go get their own food. By the following year, the young are fully grown and sexually mature. Migratory and resident birds. There are 3 habitats which the Verkay jumpers reside. I like that. I think it's funny that Google Translate is being like really selective about where it wants to like translate the Springer suffix on the like the title. So like the species name in German is like Virkeichspringer. I don't think I'm saying that fully right, but sometimes it's like Verkay Springers, Verkay Jumpers. Sometimes it's 2 words, sometimes it's 1 word. This is on World Anvil. Yes, it is. We're currently doing article reads. I ran an unofficial challenge this month, and so I'm reading through submissions to that, and so that's where we are. I'll link the current article that we're reading. It's this one about these wonderful birds. Oh, and then there's Moobot telling you right away, like, hey, there's our challenge. So if you want to go read about it, you're more than welcome to. It closes today, and so I'm just sharing all the wonderful things that people have made. Oh, and I need to take a sip. Hello. All right, sip taken. The reading shall continue. All right. The large northern forest of the Lamelius area, the large forest of Erandia, and the central and western areas of Arevnal at the end of the age of glamour. Oh, what is this? I thought there was going to be... Okay, that's just a link. I thought it was going to be one of these. Just they look exactly the same, that's all. The populations in northern Aravelli move completely south of where they overwinter in the Arevnal. Of those in the forest of Erandia, only around 50% of the animals move south, as soon as the first frost heralds the time of darkness. The animals that live in the equatorial jungle stay in their territories all year round. The migratory behavior ensures that other animals annex the now abandoned ring nests of the colonies in winter, and that the colony has to build up new homes when it wakes up. However, bird migration south in winter and north in spring is not without dangers. In the kingdoms of Terulium, Marenreich, and Gleidenreich, as well as the city-state of Oppersberg, the animals are extremely popular as pets and aviary birds. Every year, many bird catchers go to the typical resting places of the little singers in order to catch as many as possible alive and sell them, much to the dismay of the forest elves, whose areas the birds are actually native to. However, this is just one of the many reasons why there are still disagreements between the human kingdoms and the elven states in central Aravelli today. So yeah, people are just out there grabbing birds. You just can't be doing that. It's rude. Work is gonna make me work. Ah, I hate when that happens. It's absolutely terrible. If you are able to separate yourself from work though, you just let me know. I will pull your article to the like next on the read list. Like if you have to get going or something. If your time is limited, I will absolutely read your article next. That's totally fine with me. But the ring nester. The biggest peculiarity are the huge ring nests, which the animals only build on the branches of Varkil trees. They use small branches, plant fibers, lianas, and even chunks of clay. The entire colony works together by building on all branches in all directions at the same time. This allows the construction to slowly grow together before it ultimately forms a perfect ring with many living holes around the head of the tree. It seems that some of the birds take on the role of structural engineers and repeatedly check each other's designs with stress tests. If a poor or if a poor or unstable structure is discovered, the part will simply be thrown into the abyss. I think that's a great way to handle that. The birds know what's up. But see, okay. So they say that the birds like to test out these structures with stress tests, right? And so I had like the earlier mental image, of course, of all the little baby birds just like hopping around everywhere all over the place. And so now I have the mental image of all these like adult like structural engineer birds just like kind of using their little feet to like grab the branches, grab the structures, and they just start like hopping around and like shaking erratically as much as they can. And so it's just like a row of them and like a piece of like cracks and they all just like their heads all snap to look at that one spot and then just like tear it out, throw it to the void, like start over, scrap it, we're going. And so I don't know. There's a lot of good mental images in this article. But there are also birds that fly around between construction sites and check whether building materials that one person has can be better used elsewhere. The rudimentary basic ring is placed within 12 hours for a colony of 80 to 100 birds. A day later, the structure with the living caves is finished. Only during breeding do the females move into permanent caves. As soon as the young explore the ring nest, this behavior disappears again so that it can be a member of the swarm. So that And so it can be that a member of the swarm spends every night in a different cave. Yeah, one stick out of place, gotta be scrapped. Start over. Just rip the entire section out, start it fresh. And yeah, so sometimes alone, sometimes with up to 6 other birds. However, these ring nests require constant maintenance. Moldy plant fibers, breaking branches, and crumbling clay must be replaced. Even holes that appear or were not noticed at the beginning have to become constantly repaired, and so the entire colony is actually constantly busy building houses. Those nests that are abandoned by a colony when winter sets in are often taken over by other residents for a while. Tree snakes, squirrels, even some owls and other bird species use the structures to hibernate in them for themselves. When the Verkehrsbringers return in the spring and find the old home occupied, they simply build another one, and the old gradually falls apart until it is washed away from the tree in a storm and heavy rain. Oh, so they come home from their migration, they see squatters in their house, they're like, oh well, guess I better build another one. God damn it. Yes, so they live in Arevnal. They live in Waldlandreich, Malnetmalerandia, in the Great Northern Forest around the city-state of Lam Elias. Nest only in VK trees, and they build massive ring nests. They are purely herbivorous. They feed on all types of seeds, fruits, nut pits, and berries. Their favorite foods include millet and beech nuts. Growth stages. One day when they hatch, the birds are naked and blind. In 2 days, their eyes open. In 12 days, the plumage is complete. 18 days, the young birds fledge and begin to buzz around the ring nest. 1 month, the boys begin to stand on their own 2 feet. 8 months, the birds are physically mature. 12 months, they become sexually mature. and 5 years is the end of their average life expectancy. 8 years, the oldest known specimen, captive female, in the Turellis Animal Park. Some miscellaneous notes. The Verkehrspringers have a number of different melodies and rhythms in their repertoire, allowing a single bird or a small group of 4 or 5 to produce beautiful songs. However, in a swarm or 100 animals, in which everyone sings their own song, this becomes more of a cacophony. The birds are early risers and begin their morning song about an hour before sunrise. At midday, however, they are more lazy and begin their night's rest at sunset. The animals behave very territorially, especially towards other colonies. In the winter months, local Verkehrspringers and Arevnal regularly have to protect their areas from outside development, and in spring, the animals returning north compete for the best building sites. Because only some of the populations have migratory behavior, new blood always comes into the colonies, which stay in the Arevnal or Arandia's large forest all year round. In the folklore of the forest elves, the Verkehrspringers represent hard work and community. The Katfekaz in Arevnal consider it lucky if you manage to catch the Verkehrsspringer in your bare hands and then release it again. So yeah, these people literally are just grabbing birds. I love this. Well, I love that one. I don't love the other one as much because that's for captivity. These ones, they just grab them and put them down. Just grab them and release them. But only the humans and halflings see you as nothing more than a beautiful songbird. Aww. So the elves really love these birds. Let's see, in 9 out of 10 cases, Verkehrspringers act in the interest of their colony. Together, they build a huge colony nest. They let the rest of their colony know when they found a worthwhile food source, and they look after the offspring together. It doesn't surprise me that the forest elves use them in many fables and legends as a symbol of hard work and community. Yeah, Night One is not someone that I usually see articles from, so I've not been exposed. I've not been exposed to the writing so much. But now I'm like, oh, now I should. I should read more of these articles. Just give that a little like, see? Oh, it's checking if I'm human. I am in fact human. Please let me like this article. So here's that link again for anyone who wants to go back and read it on your own time. Yeah, these articles are great. This is really good. This is a really great read. And yeah, I only wish that I could read it in the original German and fully absorb it. But I cannot. That is beyond my ability. Beyond the understanding of my brain. But yeah, okay, so who is next? Who's next on our list? Speaking of our German-speaking Anvilites, we have Blue Fairy 74. Let's get in here with the treehouse snails. These are really cute. I haven't read this article yet, but I have opened it and perceived it. And I saw, I see these little arts and they're so cute. I love them. So I'm gonna have my little sips. Excellent. Nice and sipped up. Now let's have a little read of these treehouse snails, shall we? Sophie was leaning against an oak tree when the smacking blob caught her attention. By now, Sophie was very familiar with the tree houses in the forest. But now she saw a miniature version that was reminiscent of a toy. She looked at it carefully and saw it slowly moving again. Little horns crawled out from under the house and stared into Sophie's huge eyes. Before the horns could crawl back into the shell, Sophie pulled a snail from the bark and placed it on her hand. Excerpt from the novel. Treehouse snails are not a strange freak of nature, but they were created from a failed growth spell by a young druid. They are twice larger than ordinary snails, and their shells take on the strangest treehouse shapes. Oh, they're so fun. Just look at them, they got little houses on them. So their creation, while normal snails have existed since the age of myth and shadow, treehouse snails are a younger species at around 7,900 years old. The story of their creation is a popular legend among goblins and is told to them from an early age. This music that I'm listening to right now is like way too serious. This is more whimsical. Hell yeah. we're reading about these cute little treehouse snails to like a song literally named Castle Siege. I'm like, this doesn't seem right. Let's see, during the middle of the 5th millennium, the young goblin Ayla Greybark lived in the forest of today's Tayan Wotris, who had discovered her interest in earth magic at an early age. At that time, there was no druid circle and therefore no rules for correct use, so anyone could experiment with it. Ayla had already gained plenty of experience with earth and stone magic, and now begun a study of growth magic. After the first easy exercises, such as growing grasses and flowers and different colors of all kinds of plants, she ventured into a more complicated saying, such as the growth of trees and the coloring of animal fur. But up until that point, she had never created anything completely new. She's always been fascinated by snails since she was a child. She collected them and made small terrariums in which she kept the snails as pets. By adulthood, this developed into a small snail garden with a wide variety of species. She studied their houses and recorded their life cycles. Some goblins even claim that Ayla had spoken to them. The idea slowly matured in her mind to create a new, beautiful species that would go down in history as the most beautiful snail in Brictelgus. But on the day that Ayla wanted to perform the magic, a violent storm was brewing over the forests and Lannis, god of storms, caused the wind to rush through the trees and violent thunderstorms to descend. Although Ayla was afraid for her treehouse, she was also impatient and didn't want to wait for the storm to pass. So she cast her spell and repeated several times the formula that was supposed to turn an ordinary snail into a new species. As she was about to repeat the spell a third time, the window was smashed by a branch, and the wind whistled through pink flowers, a symbol of the fertility goddess Brictissa, swirled around the room. Ayla was so frightened that she made a mistake and muttered tree snail instead of dream snail. But it was too late. The magic worked, and so she had to watch as the snail slowly grew and her little house was transformed into a tree house. Ayla tried everything to turn the snail back, but she didn't succeed, so she kept the snail and put it in her zoo. After a while, the zoo attracted curious children who wanted to take the snail home with them. Ayla now realized she had created one of the most wonderful creatures after all. She allowed each child to choose a snail from her garden and transformed them into treehouse snails with a variety of houses, which from now on could reproduce on Brictelgus. At the same time, Ayla also understood how much power she had that gods would intervene in spells if they went too far. In the years that followed, she did everything she could to store her spells carefully and developed the first rules to prevent the misuse of earth magic. Many of the rules found their way into the teachings of the Druid Circle, which is why Ayla Greybark is counted as one of the Ur-Druids of Brictelgus. That's a lot of fun. Let's dive into their physiology. The ochre-colored body of the snail can be up to 20 centimeters long and is covered in a slightly shimmering layer of mucus, which can take on different colors depending on which tree the snail is on. The houses grow up to 15 centimeters tall and mimic the tree houses in their surroundings. These mimicry effects result in the magic of Ayla Greybark, who, according to her diaries, originally wanted to create a snail that could merge with its surroundings. The snail can travel at a speed of 15 miles per hour, making it 3 times faster than its normal counterparts. In meters per hour, probably? I don't know. Pretty quick. Speedy. The 4 horns of the head. Yeah. Oh my god. What did I say? My first thought was like miles per hour. Like, that's a really fast snail. No, that's not the right one. But anyway, the 4 horns on the head are used for smelling, tasting, and seeing. Goblins also discovered that the posterior antennae respond to fluorescence. This house consists of a porcelain-like layer of limestone. The snail absorbs the kaolin and lime coating elements for the structure through mucus on the forest floor. Treehouse snails reproduce like their usual relatives. They're hermaphrodites, which means that gliding over another treehouse snail for several hours is enough for both to be fertilized. However, they do not bury their eggs in loose soil, but rather they are laid under slightly loose tree bark around 8 weeks after fertilization. After about 60 days, the treehouse snails will hatch. The snails are fully grown and sexually mature after a year. If cared for well, treehouse snails can live up to 20 years. So they're around for a while. So diet and life. Treehouse snails mainly eat dead tree bark and wilted leaves, which they gnaw off with a rasped tongue. They also like to eat fluorescent mushrooms and occasionally grow on some trunks. When the fruiting bodies form at the end of the Bractelian summer, small colonies of snails are often seen in these places. Since some fluorescent fungi contribute to the death of trees, the snails are also kind of tree police that delay the death of trees for years. During the Bractelian winter, they don't have wings. They have winds. I don't know what I'm saying. During the Bractelic winter, the snails retreat to the root regions of the trees and bury themselves under leaves. In addition, they close the entrance with a chalky shell lid that looks like a cut tree slice. And use. Abandoned houses and shell lids that have been left behind or thrown off after winter are popular collector's items among goblins to hang on strings and use for mobiles and wind chimes. The bowl lids are also suitable as incense to promote sleep. They smell of wood and forest resins. Goblin children create small gardens with the houses, which serve as homes for their dolls. Live snails are often used in snail races because of their speed. The meat of the snail, whose taste and consistency is reminiscent of very dry and tough duck, is an ingredient in stews. However, since it has to be cooked for a very long time, it is mainly used in times of emergency. Oh, so I love them. I really like that they were born of like a magical mishap, basically. But also, I'm so curious. I'm so curious what they would have been if that spell was successful. Because I know it said in the little story that she was looking to make dream snails rather than tree snails, as she said. But like, what would that look like? What would that be? Like, what would a dream snail be? Maybe that already exists in this world. Who knows? I don't. But no, this article is really fun. I really enjoyed this one. Let me see how many more articles do we have on our list of things to read for today. So open this. Ba, 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 ba. This one is not permission. Ba, ba, ba. Just looking on through. Okay, so that's 2 articles. Feel free to read this. Okay, I will. Da, 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 da. We have the option of reading this. Feel free to do this. Ba, ba, ba. All right, so we have on our list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 more articles that we'll be reading today. That's pretty cool. That's pretty excellent, actually. And that'll round off. We'll probably be here doing this for like the next hour. I don't know. I don't know how numbers work. I don't know how many articles I've already read. It's quite a few. Quite a few. Here's the next one on our list. Spirits of Construction. That's pretty exciting. I like the name of it. So let me just make sure I'm where I need to be. And so this one is by Riviera. I'm going to have my little stretch. Oh, I see we have an ad going, so I'm just going to let that run through. Have a little stretch, have a little sip. Y'all best be sipping out there, or else. Y'all best be sipping, best be staying hydrated. Have some snacks. I could use some snacks. We'll see. We'll see what we can do. Oh, got to go. Oh, thank you for sticking around. I hope I see you again soon. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Yes, there are so many more articles to read through that are not going to be covered on my stream. So like absolutely go check out all these other articles, go revisit the articles that we read today. There's so much good stuff to read. Like I'm eyeballing right now an article from Emily Armstrong, and we know that Emily is an absolute powerhouse, but there was no mention of whether or not I could read it on stream in her comments, so we're not going to. But you know it's going to be a hit. And yes, there are plenty of Yonderverse species to read. We got a taste of one today on our stream, but there are, what was the number, 450? Or was it 350? I think it was 4. I don't know, numbers are weird. But yeah, plenty of that to read. 450, yes, I was right. But alright, our next article, Bam, Spirits of Construction by Riviera. Let's dive in. Let's see what they're all about. So, Spirits of Construction. Even though most of humanity is gone due to the extinction, many spirits that were born out of concepts related to them continue to thrive for now. In the case of some of them, one could think that they try to continue or replicate continuing human work, progress, and achievements. In big cities, there are spirits whose creations are most easily spotted. Spirits of construction constantly build, change, and demolish the buildings located within their territories. Spirits of construction are pack creatures that show up mostly in urban areas and are a product of humanity's ability to create buildings and such. They can only manifest in the areas that humans once inhabited. Due to that close connection and the events of the extinction, their numbers are sure to drop in the future. So that's interesting. Very interesting. Some names and nicknames: builders, yellow/orange vests. That's fun. Or bobs. As with other spirits, they do not reproduce. And taboo. No matter what, spirits of construction cannot leave the territory marked by the yellow tape. Should someone remove the tape, the spirits within the area will disappear before reappearing in a different part of town once they regain enough strength. Removing the tape partially doesn't have any effect on them, besides alerting them to the actions of the intruder. The tape regenerates over time, however. It is possible to move the spirits from the area or restrict it by partially removing the tape and adding more to expand or shrink it. Interesting, we didn't read up to that part yet, so I'm like, the yellow tape? What yellow tape? Okay. Humanoid subtype. The most numerous subtype of the species is humanoid ones closely resemble what one would consider a stereotypical construction worker. Their bodies mimic the appearance of yellow or orange safety vests, blue jeans, and colorful hard hats. Sometimes they might have protective goggles or masks. Other than that, their faces have no features and look more as if someone tried to shape a shadow into a blank human head. They vary in size and shape, mostly measuring between 1.4 and 2 meters. Some might show differences such as more muscular build or additional limbs. All of the humanoid spirits of construction can manifest tools related to construction within their arms. They use them for their intended purpose as well as their natural weapons. And the mechanical subtype. Much larger than their more numerous kin, the mechanical subtype of construction spirit tends to resemble various construction vehicles and machines, often being a mix between them. Their metallic skin always comes in yellow, and they might have some rotating lights somewhere on their bodies. While some tend to be rooted into the ground, others tend to move with either wheels or tracked treads, though some mechanical subtype specimens came in more humanoid shapes, moving on 2 legs made of steel beams. The smallest spotted specimens are only 2 meters tall, while the largest one, capable of moving by itself, was 100 meters tall, and the largest one rooted into the ground came up to 150 meters tall. That's pretty nuts. So, behavior and properties. Spirits of construction tend to be active only 8 to 12 hours of the day. When nothing disrupts them, each specimen focuses on one of 3 tasks: construction, renovation, and demolishing. For the most part, the whole pack cooperates on only one of these 3 tasks, but the more chaotic packs have been spotted where 2 or more difficult specimens could be stuck in constant destruction and rebuilding of the same area of a building. When a task is completed, the crew can disappear from the area with their territory, change the mask it focuses on, or continue their work. The last one often results in unusual structures consisting of many buildings growing out of each other, forming skyscraper patchworks of different architectural styles. That's a really cool thing to imagine. Just like weird masses of different buildings. Like you clearly took them from like different places and different times and different styles. Oh, that's cool to imagine. Should anything intrude on their territory, the spirits quickly turn violent. They don't seem to care about their own survival, completely focusing on killing or getting rid of the intruder. Even after the threat is gone, they immediately return to their previous task, no matter the wounds they suffered. The presence of the spirits of construction and the work they do often results in the fluctuations of the familiarity in the area. Renovation, construction of normal-looking buildings, and demolishing of unknown structures tend to raise the level of familiarity closer to the stable one, while demolishing known structures and buildings and building abstract buildings can lower it significantly. Unless the changed site really etches itself into one's memory, those changes are only temporary, and another trip to the city might not reflect them. So, what is familiarity? Ever since the material and spiritual worlds merged, the geography of the world changed completely. Aside from a few protected locations, the world's appearance changed based on who perceives it and how well they remember the world before the extinction. Familiarity is measured on a scale from 5 to 1. While high levels of familiarity can exclude some of the more abstract changes to the world from appearing, even the most familiar of places can be affected by the spirits or lords that inhabit them. Interesting. So that's pretty curious. See, territory. Territories of construction spirits tend to show up within areas once inhabited by humans, or the rare, still inhabited ones, known for their growth and quick development. They can show up in more rural areas, but the cities are often the hotspots for their manifestation. When a new territory shows up, its borders are always marked with yellow tape, with caution, construction area, text repeating on its whole length. The territory can encompass an area as small as a building and as big as a whole city district. Even when the spirits aren't active, construction sounds and radio music can be heard from their territory. The spirits are completely aware of what happens inside their territory and immediately know any intruders and their exact location. At the same time, they are completely unaware of anything just outside said area, even if the threat could be mere millimeters from it. Crew. A single organism or a hive. It is unknown whether a crew of construction spirits, as the packs of them are called, functions as more of a hive of varied specimens, or if all the crew members are only parts of a single organism. Those who decided to test it out came back with inconclusive data, as when two or more different crews are examined, the results are true for one crew can be false for the other. And sometimes doing the same test on one crew can have vastly different results supporting either one of these hypotheses. So that's fun. Can't really tell, like, is this like one collective hive mind? Or just one organism appearing as many? Pretty fun. And the two subspecies of spirits of construction are different from the most common one described above. The two can only form in very specific circumstances, and their behavior and appearance reflect that. Hive builders.
Refresh yourselves.
Ooh, sippy time. Oh, and congratulations, you are the sippy lord of today's stream. Oh, sorry, I just like hit my microphone. One just in case I do need it. I did need it, absolutely. So we have hive builders. Hive builders manifest only in areas that were a wilderness that in short span was inhabited and changed for human inhabitation. As such, they are nature spirits, mostly those of animals that already constructed their shelters, but focusing on hive insects. You're what? Oh, you don't know? Whoever submits the redeem that causes me to empty my mug becomes the Sippy Lord. So this is you. You are the Lord of Sippy for today's stream. It's always a momentous occasion when I can name more than one, but I think today we're only going to have the one. Yeah, you did miss being Sippy Lord Katoipoy. I'm so sorry. But yes, this is a title that changes hands pretty much every time I stream. So we'll see who it is next time. Let's see. As such, the buildings they create tends to at least partially resemble the structures of insects. When looking closer at them, one can notice that the clothing of humanoid specimens is really their carapaces with markings that resemble uniforms of construction workers that might still have functioning wings or antennae. The changes within the mechanical specimens are way less noticeable, but instead of being made of metallic materials, they might be made of more unprocessed natural ones. Ruin builders. The ruin builders tend to only appear in quickly developing areas that were suddenly abandoned, mostly due to catastrophes or war. They rarely construct anything new, and if they do, they never finish it. Instead, they renovate ruins by placing things inside of them that make them look more abandoned. The dust, the dust and trash, or by making them overgrown with plants and fungi. Their appearance reflects their territories, with chunks of their bodies missing or by being covered in moss and dirt. Ruin builders do not care for any intruders within their territories, letting anyone pass or stay for as long as they want. So that was really cool. That was a really interesting one. So they're like spirits born out of like human concepts, and they build but these different types. We have like the standard ones that look like construction workers, and then we have the hive oriented ones that are more like insectoid in nature. And then we also have like the ruin ones that like they look about as ruined as the ruins they live in, and they make it more ruined instead of fixing it up or anything. that's that's so interesting. But here's a link for you guys in case you want to go check it out yourself. Highly recommend. And we're going to be jumping into our next one. However, well, I'll put it on the screen so everyone can marvel at this wonderful world. I need to refill my mug, so I'm going to leave you with my chair. Oh yes, it is you. I was wondering if you were still here, actually. I was gonna be like, I wonder. Just came back from a lurk. Well, good timing. Good timing, welcome. I will be refilling, yeah, at the perfect time. I'll be refilling my mug. I will be right back. It'll take me like 30 seconds. Enjoy my chair. Mochi, your date's back.
Refresh yourselves.
Oh, who did it? Who could do this? Oh, hello. I'm back. Oh, of course it was Toy Boy with the missing streamer sips. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much for the sips. The mug is refilled. We have our drinks. What? Who?
Refresh
Yeah,
yourselves.
who would do that? Alright, we're gonna get ourselves nice and situated, have our little secondary sip. Do you take chair to be your lawfully wedded chair? I think it's a little early for that. Speaking as the parent in this scenario. Yeah, chair TV. I hope you enjoyed. But here's the link to this article we're about to go dive into. I'm really excited. I need to read more of Owen's work. But here we are. Mylinock. Alright, let's get in here. When first setting my eyes upon the Mylinock, I was taken aback by their dexterity. For such large creatures, they seem to move with the grace of a feline, yet their ferocity is strong and powerful, almost bear-like. That's the best way to describe the creatures, some cross between a bear and a panther, especially given the lack of black fur. Or especially given the black fur. My brain injected words in there that aren't in there. It's so crown variant. Mylinock are creatures that are often found among the ranging forests in the world of non-Virochs. They are often used as a mount in various regions around the world. Bear panther. Banther. Panther. We can work it out. We can work something there. So this is a beast. They come in brown, black, and teal. It's a very interesting Not banned. Oh. The copyright? What? Wait, now I need to know. Is that like a real thing? And also, Kademon, hi! Welcome, welcome. Thank you for the raid. How are you? Let me get you a little shout out here. What were you working on today? How was your stream? Thank you for joining in. We are wrapping up an unofficial challenge that I ran on World Anvil this past month, and we are reading people's entries. And so it's not so much me doing writing today, but we are admiring the writing of others. Stream was fine, need to sleep soon. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. If you need to raid and run to go get yourself some sleep, absolutely go take care of yourself. I appreciate you bringing your friends here today. But I need to look up what a banther is. I'm assuming that's exactly what it is. Yeah, okay. The Dragon Prince? Oh, okay. I see. It makes sense. Well, I guess it's also a 5e creature. Well, if it's a 5e creature and it's in the Dragon Prince, does that mean it's off limits? I mean, it's two different IPs, right? I don't know. So into Earth's Children right now. Ooh. I have to look that up. I haven't read that one. People keep introducing me to like people keep introducing me to like books and things, like series. It's like, man, I haven't seen this, I haven't read this, I don't know anything about it, but I want to now. I know people are reading it. Well, Banther is a no. Bear Panther Cross is a yes. Okay, okay. Neat. But anyway, back to that reading. Oh, well, I read those books over 15 years ago. Listening to them audiobooks feels like listening to new books. Ooh, that's so fun. That's so fun. I have a lot of old books that I read like forever ago that I just need to come back to. One day. One of these days. Appearance. Mylinoc are horse-sized creatures that resemble a cross between an ursine and feline creature. Their thick black fur has led many to suggest that Mylinoc are a cross between a bear and a panther. The Mylinoc have sharp claws and whiskers and tail of a panther. Each Mylinoc has a unique shade, as several tint from black to brown, while some are tinted black to teal, giving an air of elegance. The eyes of a Mylinoc are a piercing teal and often can be found with small patches of either teal or brown lining their fur. Juvenile Mylinoc often have a more vibrant coloration of their fur, of either teal or brown. As they age, their fur darkens down to the base black color of an adult's fur. That's pretty cool. I don't know, the like black and teal are such good like colors to pair together. So I'm trying to imagine these creatures and like just the way that they appear. Just, ooh, that looks really cool. That sounds really cool. So we have some D&D 5e abilities here. Yeah, so that's the basis for some of the mechanical terminology, so keep that in mind as we read this. Cunning Opportunist. It has been noted by several scholars and explorers that Mylinoc are ferocious when creatures try and step away from their position, striking creatures who show fear in their presence. This is true especially when they're hungry. Mylinoc has advantage when making an attack of opportunity. Ooh. Pack Tactics. Mylinoc form a family for life, working in clans similar to humanoids. As such, they strike as one unit, bearing down on their allies with sharp claws. Mylinoc has advantage on attack rolls against creatures if at least one of their allies is within 5 feet of the creature, and the ally isn't incapacitated. And powerful build. Known for their strong frame, similar to that of a bear, Mylinoc are much more capable and dragging trees and stones that are easily double their weight or more. Mylinoc count as one size larger when determining their carrying capacity and the weight they can push, drag, or lift. So good, so cool. And Daros creation, taken from the Elvish word for home or camp. A Daros is the dwelling created by Mylanoc Collective that are similar to humanoid settlements. They have been looked at by several artists and scholars and considered to be a feat of architecture, considering how relatively primitive the creatures are. The first recorded Daros was found by the architect and artist Eliane van Corison, an elf from the Lemurian Empire. She used the inspiration from the architecture to form the basis of Blackstone Keep. Often, a Daros is formed of sticks and stones that can be found around the local area. The Mylanoc use their sharp claws to shave away at both the wood and stone to form intricate interlocking patterns that are almost impossible to understand. They seem to use some plants and intertwine them to form a rope that can be used not only to carry materials that the Mylanoc find, but can also be used to lock together elements of the structure and perform mechanical feats that are similar to that of humanoid settlements. Very cool. Let me cover the history and then we'll be finished with this article. I don't know, I think it's really cool that they're just building settlements. Like these creatures are doing that. That's really cool to think of. Yeah, it's like a feat of architecture created by Banthers. they're crafty, some may say. Oh, true. Okay, you're working on a story including Egyptian gods and another world. Oh, that's really cool. I think Egyptian mythology is one of like the coolest out there. It's not one that I've had the pleasure of looking into quite so deeply, but it's kind of true of all forms of mythology. It's all just like surface level knowledge. I just really need to dive into it a lot more. But the history. The first Daros was found in 587 AR by Elian van Corison. The information about what was believed to be an ancient ruin were noted down and used as inspiration for the Blackstone Keep. Additionally, several scholars have used the information from these original notes to theorize and experiment with magical effects that weave the strings of reality. Later on, this form of magic was discovered to be related to manomancy. I know that article. I love that article. Anyway, the first Mylanoc were found in early 650 AR. They are described as the cross between a bear and a panther. They were linked to the Daros in 658 AR after an explorer followed the creatures and learned that they would create the dwellings to reside in. Both quick and strong in all the ways creatures should be. After this initial meeting, several attempts were made to domesticate the creatures and utilize them as mounts when climbing across difficult mountainous terrain and thick forests. The first successful attempt to domesticate the Mylanoc was achieved in 702 AR by Marius de Famlis. The creatures were used to scale some of the moorbound peaks in an attempt to get to the Dolvalan sovereignty. The success of the mission remains unknown, but since this point, many different groups near both the peaks and the livewood forest have domesticated and bred some of the creatures specifically designed for scaling both those regions. I just screamed at the words. I love that article. Oh, well, it's true. I think it's a really cool article. I think it's really sick. And fingers crossed, we're gonna see it on a shortlist soon. With any luck. But what sentence did I leave off on? Oh, the last one. In 750 AR, a group near Orak started to breed and domesticate their own collection of Mylanoc by forming a Daros near the edge of their town. The creatures are sold to help people scale the Lorena Range. Oh, speaking of, are you gonna work on the shortlist later? I will. I'm thinking, I'm gonna, like, obviously, I'll try to get them done tonight, and then maybe on stream tomorrow, we'll, like, share it and just kind of, like, point at people and be like, I love these people. They make cool stuff. So we'll see if we can do that. I don't really know what I'm doing tomorrow. I don't have a plan for what I'm doing on stream tomorrow, but it'll be something. It'll be something, probably something creative. I don't know if we're gonna do a gaming stream this weekend. So I'm spinning, but I'm not moving myself anymore. Just, oh, there we go. We hit the desk. Hello. It is me, your sideways friend. How are you? How's everyone doing today? But yeah, tomorrow I kind of want to. I think release it. I think I'm doing a little like shortlist spotlight tomorrow will be ideal. I think we'll do that tomorrow. And that'll be the topic of tomorrow's stream. And I don't know if we have time for anything else. Maybe we'll write some stuff. Maybe we'll do something, you know? I don't think I'll be doing any like article reads, but I'll definitely go over my favorite picks and be like, I love these articles. They're really cool. Yeah, oh, my tummy is a grumbling. Oh my god. For my own sake, I have to get through the rest of these before too long. Before too long. It's looking like we'll have an ad here in a second, so you know, I'm gonna go real slow. I'm gonna go real slow in picking up my next article. But in the meantime, my friends, here's the article that we just read. Go check it out. Go check out Owen's work. Go check out the world. Very cool. And also the colors.
Refresh yourselves.
The colors in the CSS theme are just so delicious to me. It's like that dark, like overall dark. We got that purple. Oh, so good. So where are we going next? Where are we going next? Ooh, this one's a short one. Let's see. Pull that open here. Haunting Spires by Teardoll. See, Mochi gets it. Mochi understands. Mochi knows where I'm coming from and what we're doing out here. I wanna... One of these days I'm gonna have a world with like a dark theme. Your laptop charger's gone for good? Oh no! That's not good. That's no fun. And your replacement doesn't work either? Is that what I'm understanding? That sucks. That doesn't make me want to sob. Oh. Is it like... Did you get like the wrong one, or is it just broken? We have 2 different cultural festivities to go to this weekend. No World Anvil activities for me. Oh. That's exciting though. Some cultural festivities. I feel like I haven't done anything like that probably ever. Unless you count me going to the Polish festival like last year counts. Hey Reno, what's poppin'? How you doing? Well, it's time for a stretch. We're gonna start reading this article here shortly. Here's the link to it. I'm gonna handle this stretch. Oh. I think I got the right charger. Charges, but for a second, then it stops working. Oh. Then it works and stops forever and ever. Oh. So maybe it's just like a broken charger. Maybe you just like got really unlucky. Oh, and theoretically, Highland Games tomorrow, Filipino Festival Sunday. Ooh, that's really exciting. I definitely want to go to a festival like that at some point. I feel like the food would be absolutely divine. But I wouldn't know because I haven't experienced it. But I want to. But alright. Haunting Spires. On rare occasions, travelers hear a mournful maining. Wait. Wait, mournful mailing. Yeah, that's those words. That's how they work. Let's just start over. Haunting Spires. On rare occasions, travelers hear a mournful wailing while wandering the desolate wastes of Aransha. Driven by curiosity and following the sound, they might stumble across a field of man-high, twisted and colorful spires made from a solid, rock-hard substance. Riddled with tiny holes, the unrelenting desert winds blowing through them sing a haunting dirge, a lament to the unknown sculptors that are nowhere to be seen. Is anyone else just like a huge fan of the word dirge? I just... something about it. Like, it just crunches in the brain really well. I just really love the use of that word. But the origin of these colorful spires are shrouded in mystery. Unbeknownst to almost anyone alive, they are built by a rare species of termite that spends most of its life dormant in a deep slumber underneath these structures. Their dormant form resembles grains of sand so much that they are almost indistinguishable to the naked eye. On the rare occasions when a sudden rainstorm or desert river passes nearby, they awaken and start building their artful fortresses. An unending mass of termites swarms out, gathering whatever resources they can and expanding their homesteads. There is little time. Once the last drop of moisture is gone, they retreat back to their slumber, leaving behind only a mournful song blown away by winds. I like this. It's like a really cool concept. And it's giving me a lot of inspiration for a part of my world that like kind of already exists, where there are a lot of like it's very wind heavy and like wind based, and so there's a lot of sounds from like I also have like spires in this part of in the part of my world that I'm talking about, that like they sing in the wind, like they sing or they scream, or like any collection of sounds happens here. So I'm like, oh, what if it's just termites? What if it's just termites? I don't think it is the case for my world, but you know, it's an option. Dirge is good along with its associate Threnody. Ooh. I don't think I've ever heard that word before. You've introduced me to a new one. And Owen here's like, my Scottish brain is just Scotland. And I'm thinking about the like I'm sure we all know like the toothless video. It's like the little dancing toothless trend. It's just I like the video that it's from originally. And it's the line is just like Scotland forever, and it's that's all I can think of. But here we go. Here's that link for you again. Go give it a little read whenever you are able. Totally worth it. I don't know. There's something so wonderful about like the short and sweet articles that have like a really cool concept, a really cool theory going on. Da, da, da. Okay. There are two more on my list. Two more. Let us read them. So we have this one from Wordy Girl. Secret Agent Someone is one of those worlds that like I feel like I don't get to read it often enough. And so it's still a huge mystery to me. And I think as like a spy setting that's kind of intended. Like, you know, the whole secret agent deal, it'd be a little bit less intriguing if you didn't, you know, have a bajillion secrets. Some mystery strewn about. But here we have this link to the next article, Formicidae formations. So I'm thinking ants. Oh, it literally says in the first sentence, inspired by ants. Heck yeah. All right, let's get started on this read. Oh, and wait. Okay, so got little mazes. This is interesting. This is a maze I'm supposed to be able to finish. Ooh, we'll do a little. Oh, wait. Wait, is this? Anyway, inspired by ants, Will-O-Wisp has created several intricate maze systems in confidential underground locations all over the globe. Though it is speculated that many are used for storing weaponry, valuables, and even prisoners, the most known and confirmed use of Formicidae formations is for training introductory interns. So where do I start? Do I start at the top? So you can just see me like trying to work my way through this. There's a lot of I don't know, it's like there's numerous entrances, like, you know, you can come in through here or here. I guess these two are connected, so it's not quite the same. But now we go down this way. I haven't been this way yet. Where am I supposed to end up? It doesn't go anywhere. Oh. Commander McFox gives newbies the rundown. I should probably finish reading the article before I start like turning my brain around them. Will-o-wisp scientists understand the value of natural wonders. This is why they have tirelessly studied several creatures out in the wild, from majestic beasts like wild cats and eagles to miniature, minuscule critters like rodents and insects. No matter how strange things get around here, one thing's for sure. This organization believes there's something to learn from everything in nature. Focusing an entire department on natural studies may seem futile to most. I can't blame people for laughing when I think about how most of the world has the idea that scientific and technological progression is evidenced by industrialization and destruction of nature. But this outlook has been proven wrong time and time again. Not even getting into all the irreversible mistakes civilization has made and later regretted. You can take a look at the other side, the side where learning from nature actually worked. If you're looking for a good example, just consider some of Will-o-Wisp's bases. They use intricate tunnel systems for various confidential purposes, just like ants do in their mounds. Do you know that ants build these gargantuan tunnel systems underground? And they do it all in the dark, too. That's impressive. I was drafted to try this pair of nocturnal goggles once. I still couldn't make sense of my environment. Imagine trying to dig with those things on. Near impossible. I might have that prototype laying around here in my office somewhere. I wonder if I could give it another try. If it could help me play golf at night, that would really be something. Ooh, gotta go now. Laptop's almost dead. No charger. Oh no. Goodbye, Mochi. Goodbye, Mochi. Thank you for hanging out. And thank you for your wonderful submission. I'm glad I got to read it on stream with my with my best nature doc voice. That's the only way that I'm able to read your articles now. I think we accidentally made that into a law. Yes, goodbye.
Refresh yourselves.
Oh, true. Post article sips. Oh, and a bonk? Oh my goodness. Alright, back away from the desk. Oh, something about my left arm is just like, oh, she's unhappy. So we'll just sit like this for a little while. Get that stretch. Oh man, life is hard. All right. Oh, we're back in it. Things are good. We have one article left. Can we do it? Can we survive? I think we can. But okay. My little commentary. First, let me get this fresh link back for you for the article that we just finished. Here we go. Maze is inspired by ants and anthills and like their tunnels. Like, yes, absolutely. Absolutely, I'm about this. I need to learn more about like how these mazes work. It's like I don't know, what am I following here? Am I following the yellow part? It's a little bit labyrinthine. I'm gonna say probably yes, because I was able to go from point to point just now based off of the yellow. I'm so conditioned to think that like the not color sections are, you know, the maze. But no, I think it's the color sections. So we just kind of like follow things around to get to different parts. Yeah. I think that's how that works. But our final article of the day. Bum ba da bum. We have Astervella's dragons. So here's this link. Look at us go. Our final article read of the day. I'm just gonna do a little cheeky refresh on my challenge page just to see if anyone maybe. I was hoping there would be a little last minute entry. But yes, dragons! Dragons. Alright, let's see. Dragons are a class of creatures native to the planet of Aravu. They exist roughly somewhere between the bounds of Reptilia and Aves, but are traditionally subdivided into two main types. Yokapikan, scaled, and Uyoyan, feathered. though most species have both scales and feathers at various points in their lifespan. There are thousands of dragon species on the continent of Katuya alone. Though their habitats and appearances may vary wildly, they share several traits. All dragon spiri- all, bleh, all dragon species are ectothermic, flighted, and oviparous. Oviparous? I don't. Oh, where's the syllable? I don't know. But anyway, um, they are also distinguished by their high intelligence, love of fire, and penchant for creating ornate nests. Out of the many dragon species on Aravu, only two are considered domesticated, which are named Uyo and Yoka after their scaly or feathery appearance. They are the beloved companions of the Yashalin, and whom they loyally live and work beside. Stray Marble, hello, how are you? Gosh, long time no see. I hope you're doing well. How are the babies? That's a better question. How are they doing? We're doing some article reads and we're reading about some dragons today. Yes, no house is truly a home without a dragon curled up on the hearth. Onalum dragon owner and breeder of the Yokopikan dragons. Anatomy. Dragons come in a variety of shapes and sizes, but they share several important traits with one another. At their very basic, dragons are ectothermic. Uyoyan dragons use their feathers and sunlight to help them maintain their body temperature, while the Yokopikan dragons depend almost entirely on environmental heat sources. Oviparous. Most dragon species lay hard eggs. Others lay eggs which are more akin to sacs in consistency. The largest dragon eggs can take months of careful tending before they hatch. Flighted. No known species of dragons are incapable of flight, though those with feathers and lighter skeletal builds tend to fly faster and longer than their heavier, scaly counterparts. And they are omnivorous. All healthy dragon diets include a mixture of meat, fruit, and vegetables. Most hunt and gather, though a few specialize in carrion. Oh, good. The babies are adorable. Oh, I'm so excited for you. They're so cute. Oh, I sat down and Pen hung out with the goats while they climbed on me. I love that. I love that so much. So now you're like my second friend that has goats. And that's really great. But like none of you are nearby, so I cannot actually see them. I just have to live through pictures and videos. Hi Hazard, how are you? Oh. Or is that more just like a ah? I don't know. Hi. Anyway, how are you? We're reading about dragons today. Welcome. Or that's not entirely true. I'm closing out my unofficial challenge that I ran throughout the month of March over on World Anvil. And so what we've been doing today is reading the entries that people have submitted. I was reading today on stream the ones who have given me permission to read, out loud on stream. But there are more. There are more entries that I need to go check out and read on my own time. And let me summon that for you. Crafting creatures. That is our challenge. That is a challenge that we ran. If you go on there, you can actually see the full list of all the entries. And so all the ones that I didn't read on stream, or, don't get to read on stream, you can also go check those out too. And I think that's really cool. It has been it's so cool and so fun to just see people making things, writing things, because I said, hey, what would be a really good idea? If you make some creatures in your world that craft things, I think that'd be sick. And they actually did it. 28 people said, bet. I'm in. And this is one of them. So, life stages of Astrovella's dragons. Hatchling. Dragons who have recently hatched are referred to as hatchlings. As hatchlings, most dragon species are born blind and covered in soft down. Yokopikan or scaled dragons lose this down over the course of just a few weeks as their scales grow in. Uyoyan hatchlings do not lose the down until later on in their life cycle. Maybe their lifestyle, I don't know. I don't know how dragons live. Nestlings. Nestlings usually have an entire flock's worth of dragons taking care of it and its siblings collectively. They are unable to fly and incapable of finding food, shelter, and sources of warmth for themselves. Their only job is to learn through play and wrestling with their siblings and, if domesticated, their owners. I'm just imagining, like, human owners of dragons just wrestling with them as their little babies. And then, like, as they're growing up, they quickly realize, like, oh, we can't keep doing this. We cannot keep doing this. This is not good for my bones. But fledglings. The fledgling stage is marked by their developing ability to fly independently and catch food for themselves. Fledglings are rarely seen without an adult dragon nearby, since fledglings learn best by mimicking their elders. This is a critical stage for training domesticated dragons, especially those from working breeds, and are expected to perform complex tasks such as search and rescue dragons. And goodbye, Reno. Thank you for stopping by. It was wonderful to see you. Good luck with work. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. As we dive into now, juvenile dragons. Most juvenile dragons strike out to find their own territories or join other ones. Dragons who leave their nest alone have a lower rate of survival than those who leave it with nestmates. Since it can take years for a dragon to reach true adulthood, breeders of domestic dragons keep a sharp eye for savant juveniles with desirable demeanors, breed confirmation, and skill sets for adoption and or breeding purposes. I'll still be here. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Enjoy your lurk then. Adults. Adult dragons are defined primarily by two factors: their skilled independence and their reproductive capabilities. Juvenile and adult dragons are distinguished by the colors of their scales or feathers. Adult dragons are fully colored, while juveniles are gray or brown. Color and pattern changes coincide with a dragon reproductive maturity and a sharpening nesting instinct. Domesticated dragons exhibit the same behaviors as their wild counterparts. There are cases, however, where they refuse dragon mates and instead prefer to court their owners. Oh, it's just like the ostrich conversation that we had, Hazard, on your channel. It's like they don't want each other. They want their handlers. They want their human. Well, thankfully, dragon courtship rituals are rather harmless and even humorous at times. As mating season in question passes, most dragons get the hint and move on to likelier partners. Oh, those poor little creatures. And elder dragons. Elder dragons are defined by their inability to reproduce. In the first half of an elder's life, they continue to live in the shared nesting grounds and communally raise hatchlings. As a certain number of years without fertile eggs, however, most elder dragons leave the nesting grounds and the safety of their flock for the last time. Most elder dragons seek out the recesses in trees or caves where they build their own personal shelter. They live out the rest of their lives in these shelters, and the closer to the end of the life they become, the more aggressively they are known to defend it. Domesticated dragons do not exhibit the same want for isolation with the urgency of their wild counterparts. The instinct is still present, however, and owners are cautioned to provide them safe spaces to hide from unfamiliar people or other dragons. Oh, so they're kind of like cats, where they kind of just want to fuck off to go die. It's like, don't be near me, don't be around me. I'm climbing into my little hole, and I'm gonna die here. Thank you. Oh, it makes sense that dragons are just cats. But their behavior. Average intelligence. Dragons are highly intelligent creatures on average, though exact abilities vary across species and by individual dragon. They are social animals by nature and appear to enjoy playing and solving puzzles with one another. Some show so. Oh, words! I'm taking a sip. I need a little reset. Ah. Reading.
Refresh yourselves.
Thank you for the sip, Katoy Boy. Ah, we have our sips. We've collected ourselves. Where was I? Oh, okay, yes, sorry. Yes, we'll just start. Dragons are highly intelligent creatures on average, though exact abilities vary across species by individual dragon. They are social animals by nature and appear to enjoy playing and solving puzzles with one another. Some show notable skill at traversing unfamiliar territory, adapting quickly to conditions they were not evolved to expect so long as they have companions. The domesticated Uyu Uyo and Yoka dragons are viewed as the most intelligent of all dragons on Aravu. They are capable of comprehending an astounding number of words and phrases, and, in some cases, mimicking them accurately. In addition, working breeds display an astounding level of independent critical thinking skills, which they are known to use for work and play in equal measure. Communication. Dragons communicate verbally through whistles, chirps, barks, and growls. These sounds are combined to communicate complex thoughts amongst each other, though not regularly enough to count as language. Domesticated and their owners, however, often develop a shared language between each other based on these same sounds, the dragon's limited ability to replicate words and the owner's commands. Dragons also communicate non-verbally. For example, many dragons use their wings and tails to project their thoughts to others. When a dragon trots ahead of a group with their tail held sharply straight behind them, they are projecting a sense of confidence and alertness to any would-be predators. Wings tend to flutter when they feel nervous and flap when excited. In flight, wings and tails are reserved solely for aid in flight. The only exception is when they use tails to swat at unwanted company mid-flight. A little narrative snippet. Hanaloon whispers for Yuyu, eyes darting around their home, searching. Yuyu whistles back quietly from under the couch. Hanaloon whistles sharply, slapping their bed frame to further emphasize their command. Yuyu declines with a barked, "No." "Domini's gone, Yuyu." Hanaloon sighs. "Please come out." "Fly out," Yuyu squawks. "Sand time?" "It's the middle of the night." "No." Little conversations with your dragon. I love that. And so, social structure. Okay, first of all, I just want to say, like, it's kind of astounding how much has gone into this article already, just for like a month challenge. It's really cool. It's really awesome to see. But social structure. Dragons congregate into groups known as flocks. There are multiple leaders per flock. The exact number of leaders is dependent upon species and flock size. A flock at minimum has 2 leaders, one to defend the nest and the other to lead outings, though the most successful flocks have been between 3 and 5 leaders. The rest of the flock mates are divided up amongst these leaders based on their specialized skill set within the flock, which allows their communities to run smoothly and safely. Most of the time, dragons appear to determine the social structure through non-violent means. Infirm and elderly dragons are respected and cared for long after they have outlived their utility. Leaders are not given the same grace as their common counterparts. Changes in leadership are rarely met without a fight, sometimes resulting in one or multiple deaths over the course of the power struggle. Good. Oh, goodness. They went from being quite wholesome to, "I will rip your throat out if you try to take my throne from me." Which, I mean, they're dragons, so that kind of checks out. But, courtship. Lovey dragons. Male and female dragons participate in a short mating season each year. Male dragons determine their mate by inspecting a female's nest. If a male dragon finds the nest acceptable, it will begin to perform for the female. The type of performance varies by species. Some present gifts such as shiny or warm items to spruce up their nests, perform intricate dances, and or sing for her attention. These performances may last several days, and a female dragon may witness dozens of these shows before finding a suitable mate. If a female dragon finds a male dragon's performance agreeable, she will allow the male to live within her nest for the remainder of the year. The male stays with the female throughout the season, taking on the lion's share of work and defending the nesting grounds and, when it is time to start laying on the nest, feeding the broody female dragon. Yes, feed wife. Life good. The male and female dragon will live together until the mating season starts again. Female and male dragons rarely pair up for more than one season in a row. Oh, okay. So there's no mating for life here. They're just kind of, it's like, "Oh, you were good for a season. Next." Moving on. Anyway. Now, nesting. Female dragons are notorious nesters, whether or not they are expecting a hatchling, and male dragons aren't that far off either. Dragons of all species, wild or domestic, are renowned for their ability to craft wondrous, sometimes garish, nests and shelters in order to protect themselves and their flockmates. Despite raising all of their nestlings communally as a flock, dragons actually create nests independently from one another on a shared nesting ground. Individual nests reflect individualized taste and decor, such as one dragon's preference for red leaves versus another's of shiny coins. Fights occasionally break out between dragons if two dragons with similar tastes nest too close together, because the temptation to steal a pretty piece of crumpled paper from their neighbor is just too strong to resist. Flock-wide aesthetics have also been observed in both wild and domestic species. Flocks will decorate their collective nesting grounds with similar motifs unique to the flock in question. For example, Honolulu's small flock of dragons prefers to collect black rocks in interesting shapes. One flock has claimed the top of Kutuye Library's tower for thousands of years prefers reflective pieces of metal. But see, okay, so now I'm thinking, I'm imagining in my brain, and it's very silly. Dragon nesting ground HOA, where they where dragons just get into fights with each other because the council has decided that we are no longer allowed to display oval shaped gray rocks anymore. Like, you can't do that anymore. It has to be a perfect circle. Like, polish it into a sphere if you have to, but if it's an oval, you're getting kicked out or fined. I don't know. My brain just imagines really interesting things when I'm reading these articles. Let's read more about the dragons on Kivria. You brought and lost a what on Kivria? It wasn't on purpose. She hid in my bag. Shamu was very lucky that Areta couldn't kill them. The members of the Kivrian project located the mother and reunited her with her poor Shamu a few months later. They wouldn't find her progeny until a few hundred years later. By then, it was too late. Dragons are recorded in the legends of the earliest peoples of the planet Kivria. Their long lifespans and possessive personalities captured the imaginations of these people, becoming bigger and more intelligent than ever, than even the best adapted real Kivrian dragon. While Kivrian dragons did grow large and terrorize various settlements across the southern Overos continent, their impact was limited to only a small corner of the world. Despite this, dragons writ large dragons at large, I will say, are popular in the collective imagination of most known cultures in Kivria, however small a role they play. And the extinction. The Kivrian legends of dragon tamers and dragon slayers are more entertaining than the sad reality of Kivrian dragons' steady decline. The official story is that they slowly died out on their own, one by one. These invasive dragons could not sustain a viable population out of those few that had wiggled their way across planets. Certainly not once they had to compete for resources, which had grown scarce due to the ferocity of their appetite. It was jaw-droppingly beautiful, a streak of sentient flame flying over the hills. I hope I'll see it again one day. Pio, the Flood Waste's earliest known explorer. The last Kivrian dragon. In recent history, however, intrepid explorers in the Flood Waste have reported a mysterious serpentine creature flying high in the mountains. Witnesses have described the sighted dragon consistently over the years, lending credence to their story. The dragon in question, if it exists at all, is likely Vaspa, Areta Makari's companion. Defying the odds, the poor creature has survived in the harsh environment of the Flood Wastes alone, waiting loyally for its master's return. Would she even recognize me, do you think? Your face has changed, but she will know your spirit. Go find her. Conversation between Areta and Oz upon finding evidence of Vaspa. Ooh, and that's the end of the article. That's so good. We have an ad starting soon. Sorry for those of you who are tucked away into the corner for the next minute and a half. But that was really cool. That was a really good article. Very, very long. Like, my goodness, there's so much stuff in here. Oh, but okay, it does make sense. This is other challenges have been ongoing in the past month, of course. It is like unofficial challenge month is what this past month was. So this was actually submitted for spring improvement, which is taking an older article and improving it and making it better. And so I did include a little clause in my article, my challenge article that said, you have to make a brand new article for this unless it is your submission to the spring improvement challenge. So it's kind of, like encouraging new creations, but also encouraging like, hey, go participate in other people's challenges too. So that was really fun. There's my little badge. So yeah, that was the final article of the challenge. we reopened this article. Here we are. Back to the challenge page, and there it was. Crafting Creatures 2024. We went through every single entry that I've, been given permission to read on stream. But a whole world of other entries awaits. Like, look at this entire collection of things. I barely scratched the surface. So all of these articles are available on the challenge page for you to read on your own time. On my own time as well. And I'm hoping before too long I will have a winner picked out. That is the dream. That is the goal. Ooh, and hold on. I need to, before I forget, here's the link to the article that we just read. Really good, really cool. I guess I still have all the tabs open, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We read 18 articles today. That's kind of nuts. a whole 18 articles. And that's really cool. So I'm gonna bring myself here. Hello everyone. How are you? Well, I just like play around with some of my tabs. I read so much. That is so much content. And more than like, oh wow, I
Refresh
read that much. Like
yourselves.
you guys submitted that much. Isn't that so cool? Thank you for the sip. Yeah, I know. And like the quality has been amazing. I loved reading through all of these articles. Actually no, we read 18, that's out of 28. So we actually read we read 2/3 of the entries actually today. Which actually, that makes my life a lot easier. That means I have a lot less to read later on. um so yeah, there are a whole 10 articles on this list that will not be read on stream that I recommend you go check out. Absolutely go check them out. So I'm going to say, like, I'm gonna brainstorm a little bit. We're gonna kind of talk about how this is gonna go from here. So we had our little article reading day. That was really great. That was a lot of fun. I'm going to endeavor to pick my winners within the month, right? And so I'm thinking the first thing we'll do is we gotta make a short list. And so depending on how easy that is to do, it could happen as early as tonight. But I also know that I'm finishing my World Building Awards shortlists tonight as well. So we'll see what I have energy for. Because if I okay, listen, you guys, if I don't finish my shortlist for the World Building Awards, like my personal shortlist, Mochi is going to explode. That's just happening. Yeah, bow chicka wawa. Yeah, Mochi's going to absolutely explode if I don't post the rest of my shortlist in time. I don't mean like in time before they explode. I've already started it. I've already started assembling it, so like it's there. It's in the works. My first 3 categories have shortlists posted. Also, don't trust that Mochi with your chair. Mochi is a very respectful individual. I have full faith. I have full faith that they will treat my chair well. if that is what they want to do with their lives. It's like I will support. I'll support this. Oh, is my little scarf is coming off? Oh no. As long as there's consent, I guess it's okay. It's probably fine. It's probably good. I trust. But yeah, I'm building out my shortlist in my like submissions article. So you can like pop by there at any point and just see like, oh, okay, so the list is starting to form. Hearts and Minds, Rise of Nations, and Wondrous Nature, I think, are already in there for the shortlist. And I keep looking at them like, oh man, there are like 10 other articles that I also want to see on my short list, but I have to narrow it down. It's so hard. It's so hard to do. Like picking my number one, like picking my vote, still really, really difficult. But that one's like, I don't know, that one's more like it's concrete. Like, you pick one. You pick one, your absolute favorite, and be done. But like a short list, that's just me saying, hey, I really loved these. Like, basically enough to vote for them too. But that list is longer than like 5. That list is a lot longer than 5. I had to have like 4 different rounds of eliminations just to like get to a manageable number for judging. You know what I mean? Like, oh my god, and that's per category. Ugh. It's hard out here when all your friends write really good things. And when I say friends, I mean like everyone who submitted, like all of the community members who submitted to the awards, like, oh my god, you guys made this a battlefield. You know how hard it was to pick my favorite thing? Yeah, sorry, yeah, like I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you, Eddie. I'm looking at you, Katoy Boy. I'm looking at like basically everyone who has come through this chat today. Out here like submitting things. Oh, you made my life so challenging this past week. Hi Big Red, how are you? Thank you for the subscription. I appreciate you. Yeah, like and like it's like it breaks my little heart, you see. Reading all this wonderful stuff being like I have to pick one and only one of these things to vote for when I think so many other people also deserve to be on a podium for the things that they've submitted. And like, man. I appreciate Ondo in the chat when I was like complaining about this. how Ondo was like, "Oh yeah, we'll introduce a new rule next year that the entries can't be so good so we can make voting easier next year." I'm like, "Thank you. Thank you. That's what we need." Oh, yeah, I got my best, and if I don't win, I need to crank up my game. Yeah, that's what I did like this year. My articles last year didn't get anything. Like I didn't get nominated, nothing. And so this year I only have articles. Like I don't have a world category, I don't have a map, I don't have a timeline, nothing. Um so I'm going from last year where my articles didn't perform at all to this year I'm like, I think I have a chance. I think I got a chance, at least one. Okay, there are like 2 articles I'm like particularly like rooting for. um all the rest, if they get nominations, I will weep. But like it's mostly if those two get on the list, I'd be heck yeah. That's my dream. That's my goal. You can probably guess which 2 articles I'm referring to. Yeah, we'll see mine too. I'm nervous. But you make really, really good stuff, and a lot of people know you. And so I think those will play in your favor, even if you didn't like just outwardly advertise yourself or anything. I didn't do like I really didn't do a whole lot either. Like I made my article with all my submissions and was like, I put like the notification about it. I just like I popped it into my Discord one time in the announcements. And that was like it. I didn't post on social media about it. Um like I really like I meant to. I wanted to advertise myself more, do a little bit more marketing, but I don't know, the past month has just been such like a drain on my life. Oh goodness, and especially in like the last week where I'm like dealing with COVID, it's hard to be alive. And so I just wasn't thinking too much about, social media and promoting myself. Um, but yeah, like I sent it to some of my friends. I don't know, my dad voted. I appreciate that one. um, so yeah, I'm hoping that I got enough support to at least push my two favorite articles to the top of the list, you know what I mean? It's like I like all of my articles that I submitted, but I have a couple that I'm like, come on, you can do it, I believe. Like get up there, get on that short list. um but even if I do get on the short list, then there's the next step of like I have to win. Like or like, like the progression of priorities, like, okay, like I got here. There's another step to this too. And like a whole nother voting round that I have to do well in. Short list, you don't look short. I know. I'm not short. But the list of wonderful entries that get to move on to the final voting round is quite short, and I hope to be on that list. Yeah, the next step is huge. Um like fun fact about me and like my World Anvil career, I haven't won any challenge on the site except for the 2 awards I got in the World Building Awards last year. Like I haven't won anything else. I got onto a short list, and that was really cool. But the nature of things and the fact that I won in the World Building Awards means that I'm now in Premier League, which means I'll never get into a short list on a challenge ever again. Because they don't do short lists for Premier League entries because there's like not enough of them. Um, so it really is at this point like, okay, I just have to win, like capital W win. Oh my goodness. But yeah, like I haven't won a summer camp prompt. I haven't won a World Ember prompt. I I did get most helpful camper in summer camp last year, but that's more of just like a hey, you were really cool and not a hey, your content was really good. um you're amazing. Oh, thank you, Dex. I appreciate you. You can, you're a top tier Envelate. Oh. I mean, I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna keep trying. We're gonna try it. Um yeah, no, like but I mean all that should really tell you is like, I'm not fueled by winning, right? Like I've been around, I've been doing this for years at this point. The only things that I've won are like 2 really big things, and they were largely based around my art. So, like they were very visual. Like I got most beautiful world and the cartography award. So, like 2 very image-based visual things. I'm trying to step up the writing, all right? I'm trying to step up my articles. I'm trying to step up my world building, and we're gonna a surprise to your right. That proves it. Yeah. Yeah. Let me just try not to knock them over in the process. See, I'm really curious what they're gonna do differently this year, if they're gonna make them look different. But yeah, see, here's evidence that I draw good. Well, I mean, this is the cartography award, so it's like kind of I don't know, is there like a good way to oh, over my hair, there we go. Try not to like show you my screen. There's nothing bad on it right now. I'm just like on the YouTube screen right now, so you get to see all my like recommendations. There we go. All my YouTube recommendations on display in the in the window of the cartography award. But also, wait, okay. So naturally, like I have 2, but the this one's my favorite. I got it signed by Janet and Demi. Okay. And Janet drew a tiny dinosaur on it. It's so cute. There's because I took this with me to the summer camp picnic this past year. Yeah, there's a little dino. And yeah, so cartography award. Oh, my little heart light. There we go. That illuminates me. And this one, the most beautiful world. Where can I put this? No glare. There we go. Bam. There we go. That works. Perfect. Yeah, little heart light. There we go. Looks like a little emote, like, ah, look at me, I'm smiling a little heart. This one is also signed, and it also says congratulations. It doesn't have a dinosaur on it though, which, you know, I think that makes this one the better reward. But I'm really curious if they're going to look different this year. Like, are they going to make the trophies look different? Are they gonna like use a different vendor? I don't know. Any number any number of things could happen. We're just gonna make sure this doesn't like glare too much. I'd be squinting at my screen. So let's see. But yeah, I mean, like, I'm thrilled to say that the only awards I've gotten on the site are the big ones, but you know, I want the funny little, I want the cute little badges with the crowns on them for a competition one of these days. That'd be really cool. My issue with the competitions is that I just don't have enough time in a like singular month to make like amazing, spectacular content that is award winning, you know what I mean? Um, but maybe this year. Maybe this year. But yeah, I don't know. Okay, so yeah, talking about all that. I'm thinking tomorrow's stream is going to be a highlight of my like a spotlight of my shortlist for this year's awards. So I can talk to all of you about my favorites, my personal favorites. Great for you and voted for you. Oh, thank you. But I won't say where. Good. I don't need to know. I don't need to know. Just just knowing that you supported me at all is just ah. It feels so good. Yeah, heart key is such a mood. Yeah, I need to work on my lighting situation somewhat. But that's a later thing. I have a lot of other things to worry about, but lighting, that's something to improve at some point. What I really need to figure out is how to stop blinding myself with my monitors because they are quite bright, but they also look really nice when they're really bright. So I also have you in 2 spots on my shortlist. Ooh, yay. Huzzah. As said, Melcora is bae. Oh my goodness. You're being so nice to me. But I I am inclined to agree with you. I love Melcora. She's a wonderful project. And I really hope I get to develop it a lot more in the coming year. The coming years, plural. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but we're gonna work on it and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a really good time. But yeah, tomorrow's stream, I'm gonna try to have my shortlist, like my article shortlist. My shortlist is done. Like it exists, it's in a spreadsheet. I just need to like, you know, set up the article and everything. So we're gonna try to have that done before tomorrow's stream. And then during tomorrow's stream, we're gonna go over it. I'm gonna show you guys all my favorite stuff from this year. Let's talk about some things. I'll show you my very clear biases towards certain articles. But it's okay, it's okay. And yeah. I don't know. Oh man, I think I had something else like on my brain plan that I was going to say we could do. Oh, we could start diving into Adventure April. We could dive into Adventure April tomorrow, just like because I haven't actually looked at it yet, so I haven't like looked at like the rules and what's actually going on with the event and everything else. I know that you can make an adventure or a short story. I'm probably gonna do a short story. I'm probably you know what? Because the reward for the winner of my Crafting Creatures challenge is going to be inspiring the NPC that Ebby meets in the next installment, I'm probably gonna start drafting that next installment. So if we have time during tomorrow's stream, we can start jumping into Adventure April. And you can look forward to some more Ayun Sovos writing. I cannot tell you how excited I am to start writing more for Ayun Sovos. It's so Like it's my feel good setting. It's my fun setting. It's where I'm gonna go for all like the wholesome goodness of world building. Um, like we'll leave room and like for some pockets of darkness, but the world as a whole is gonna be just like so bright and wonderful. And I just the stories I'm telling. I already love my little main NPC Ebby. And yes, yes, to my other dark heart. Yeah, and dark she is. I already have some ideas that are just. Hmm. I need to start writing prose for Malcora. Is what I need to do. But yes, it's like it's cozy, it's comfy. The art style is wonderful, and I hope to make more art for Malcora too. I don't know. I have a lot of goals. I have a lot of aspirations, and things that I want to do in the near future. So yeah, we'll dive into some more stuff. Oh, is prose allowed for Adventure April? Yes. Yes, that is what I'm hearing. You can do short stories, you can do plots. But yeah, I haven't looked at the page either, so I can't like give you specifics. I can't give you like the details. Yeah, I missed the stream too because it was an hour later than usual. And that's like during my stream time. So so I wasn't really able to tune in. But yeah, it opens up some possibilities, absolutely. Because I'm not, like I'm not at this stage where I'm like I'm not writing like adventures for games or anything at this point. I don't have enough of like I don't have a basis. I don't have a game that's tied to my setting, so I don't really want to. I don't know. I don't know. It's just a thing. But in the meantime, I think that will be it for today. I'm gonna start letting you guys go, and we're gonna find someone that we can go raid. So let me see who's even doing stuff right now. Like who's online? Who's doing stuff? Who am I?
Refresh yourselves.
Which of my followers do I want to go invade today? Or I guess not my followers, but like which one of the people that I follow am I gonna go check out today? Oh, and I've been bonked. Alright. Oh, sit like a normal people. Oh my gosh, crunchy. Ooh. I don't know if you could hear that because my wrists were all the way like back there, but oh my god. Where are we going today? Like looking off over into this far distance. So I think we're going to go hang out. Let's go hang out with Hybrid Spider. We hung out during PAX. They were really cool. Yeah, what are they doing? Playing some Heartworm. Ooh, okay, yeah. I don't know what that is. I said like, ooh, yeah, as if I'm aware, but no, I'm uneducated. I don't know. We're gonna find out today, though. So thank you everybody for hanging out with me today. Getting to read all the entries to the crafting creatures has been really fun. And I look forward to reading all of the rest and presenting you all with yet another shortlist. Hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. So let's go jump in. Like the stream just started, so they're just getting set up, which is I think it's a good time to go jump on in. So let's start this raid. Of course, our raid shout is Bird Raid. So if you just want to go shout that out, just any variation of this. Throw in some emotes. One of these days I'll have a command for it, and that day is not today, but soon. Have a good one until tomorrow. Absolutely, until tomorrow. I can't wait to see you guys again tomorrow. We're gonna do some more looking. We're gonna do some more screaming about the content that our friends make. And these just high quality writings that are existing out there. And goodbye everyone. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your night. I'm going to go inhale an unhuman amount of food. Imagine like an owl eating like something whole. Like, okay, we don't need to get into those specifics. I'm just gonna send you off on that raid. You can let your imagination do whatever it will. But, of course, I must implore all of you to grab your sippies and go world build. Go do the things that make you happy. Go have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow for more world building adventures. Goodbye.